I can't necessarily leave you with the price, but you know, this is my price for today. If that's what you want to do, we can put it on the schedule. If you want to wait a couple days, that's what you can do.
It's like, why should I go with you? I'm like, you tell me why you should go with me.
Yeah, right. Why do you think you should?
My product, does a lifetime guarantee on my product, is that something that fits your needs? You know, just keep going on with that. The one I got yesterday was price versus cost. That's how I closed on that one, because they had another quote for 25.
The tandem or the
The siding one.
Nice.
And I said, well, it's all about price versus cost. And they're like, oh, okay. And they, what?
What do you mean now?
And I said, well, this is my cost. This is how much this job costs, right? And then you have the price, which is hilarious, because the next door neighbor, I was out there, 3 months ago? The neighbor is still doing his own siding.
Oh wow.
And vapor barrier's still on the house.
That's
And
cool.
I said, and that's, that's price, right? So he's thinking he's gonna get it for this amount. Something happens and, the guys didn't come out and do it correctly. It has to be replaced.
He waited too long, now
he
it's
waited
freezing
too-
out and he doesn't have the capability. All that.
Some wood is rotten, now he has to pull that off. Oh no, now it's down to the joist. You're just running into problem after problem. And that's when, over the course of the 25 years that this job is, or the 50 years that this job is guaranteed for, he's paying 40 grand and instead you're paying 27.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I could have been a lot better
Hey,
at
Dave.
the time, but.
So you look at Fagan, just because you kind of looked, when I was going back over the pictures, it kind of looked like there was a
What
lot
your
of
price was on your 4-box sheet.
on
And
Where
price
that
is
big
like
barrier
an example
wasn't
of-
anymore?
He was only looking
Hey,
at
which
price,
one's that?
so that's why he's doing it that way.
the 6 o'clock that rescheduled place.
Oh.
The guy rescheduled place.
A really good example is that there's two bikes, right?
Because me
You
and
wanna
Steve
buy a
already
bike for
went
your
over
kid.
it and quoted it, but I
You
didn't
can
know if I should
spend
have
$300
added extra
or
wood
500
there,
bucks on
and
this
we didn't
Schwinn
do
bike.
that yet.
Well, that's actually.
Or you can go and spend 150 bucks on this crappy mountain bike,
Mongoose.
right? And then, you get it and then the chain keeps popping off, so you have to buy a new sprocket for it. The seat tears in half, you have to buy a new seat for it. The brakes pop, you have to buy new brakes for it. So if you would have bought the nice bike, not only would your kid have been able to play on it longer, he would have been safer, he wouldn't have kept breaking shit. That you would have to constantly
Right.
replace. The repairs for that one bike, that crappy bike, would end up over time.
Outback versus
Yeah,
Pulse.
so you gotta think, he had that crappy bike for a year, and
Yeah.
he spent 300 plus bucks on it total, but he could have spent 500 bucks on a
The first
bike
time.
that would have lasted him 10 years. And over the course of time, if you would take the cost, the yearly cost, or the monthly cost
you can
rather,
join us.
Right.
of that
That's
bike,
all.
it's like the regular, the crappy, inexpensive bike
Was it collecting the trucks?
was 300 bucks, or 300, 400 bucks a year.
Right.
That Schwinn bike was like
You're on time,
50
you're late.
bucks a year.
I guess so.
It's a good example.
you know-
And it's the intangibles, like the safety part. The knowing your kids will be like having fun on the bike, being able to use it in general. And then you can add on the money part of adding stuff to
The
it.
roof
needing
is
to do
huge.
this.
The roof is
That's
huge.
the roof, same exact thing.
Yes.
That's a great example.
But you can do it for siding.
Oh,
too.
wow, yeah, they did your flashing wrong. Now they have to pull out all these shingles, redo the flash.
Right.
All right, all right, guys, let's get into some shit. Just listening to bullshit with you guys this morning and stuff. I want, Brian, you were just saying something about, and I want everybody to hear it again. That when you were hearing people that give you that objection, you read somewhere or whatever, they give you the objection, I need to think about it. Okay, what was the statistics you were rattling off?
Oh, that within 24 hours, people forget 75% of what you said. And within 30 days, it's 95%. Out of that 20, in the first 24 hours, that 30 or that 25% that they do remember, half of it's wrong. So like your name, the company's name, the products you're using, things like that. They understand that they're putting a roof on it. But other than that, they don't really remember anything about it, and especially when they're getting multiple quotes, it all blends together. And I know with anyone who's been doing this for a while, they're like, oh yeah, you said that this, this is what I said.
When your
Probably-
contracts get misstrued and everything
Probably
else,
know
and they're assuming you were doing something that somebody else was, that's why it's important to make sure that the paperwork is proper. We're putting everything that we discussed in paper. You know, make sure too, do you guys review the contracts with your customers?
Every single
Every
time.
time.
Every time.
Line by line, you should go
Every
I
through
pick
it.
my chair up.
Is
and
there
I set it next
anything
to
that
them.
we discussed here today that I'm not putting on here? Okay, because otherwise there's no verbal agreements. It's not, oh, well, he said this or whatever. Have that conversation with them. They respect you more for talking about it. Look, you may have had other quotes. I don't want you to misconstrue what somebody else said versus what I'm doing. So if it's not on this document, we're not doing it. So let's put down everything. If you're under the impression we're gonna be doing something, let's put it down. Okay? And that's one thing I learned way back, you know, just clean paperwork, you know, on something like that. Because now it's like, hey man, me and you were both here. I did not say that. We put up everything in contract, everything in writing here, what was supposed to be done, what wasn't supposed to be done. You know, if the customer is responsible for painting around, you know, you had that conversation, we did a buildup of a window or something and it's unfinished, customer's responsible for painting, you know, finishing off the interior woodwork. Okay, spell that out, even though we have it on the back of our contract, in the fine print, where the initial, but put it in big bold letters so it shows us you actually had that discussion. You're not just implying that and having the customer. So that's huge, but you know, if we don't sell it that first day, think about the statistic he just said. They're gonna forget 70 or 75% of what you fucking told them. Okay? So again, now when you go back and write it up, that's why we have a lot of the problems. Because now the contract isn't written. How much did you forget about the conversation?
Say it works both ways.
Yeah, it does work both ways. I mean, I even went back out yesterday to go write up Kitson, and I was like, shit, dude, she's mentioning shit I forgot about.
Right, did we talk about this? Did we discuss it? You've seen so many customers, just like the customers had so many quotes. They don't remember what you told them, or you don't remember what you told them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it's important. And then also too, if they're forgetting 75%, they're not seeing the value of what was going on when it comes. So it's a lot harder to sell them on that back end. Legitimately, you are doing them a disservice by not selling them that day because something's gonna get missed from you or from them or whatever, and we're gonna be on different pages and we're not gonna be able to follow through with their expectations.
Good statistic.
You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to even tell your customer that. Say, look, I read a statistic the other day. Okay, I was doing some research and everything else. Within 24 hours of us coming out and seeing you, you'll forget 75% of what I told you. And then the 25% that you think you remember, half of it's misstrued. And you call me back tomorrow and everything else and you want to think about it, you call me back next week because you want to do your due diligence, I get it. But guess what? We're going to miss something that we discussed here today.
That
Okay.
makes an
That makes
actual
it-
statistic too.
It makes it
They-
almost impossible to have something comparable to. You
What's
know,
that?
because like when they have their next quote tomorrow, right? Well, when they're getting the quote, they're probably telling this other guy like, hey, this is what I've already heard and it's fucking wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Probably
Go
They
back to
won't
that
say
comedy
hard.
routine, man. How many times you go see a comedy show and everything else, the guy tells a hilarious joke and you come into work the next day or you see your friends and buddies at the bar and you completely fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's the same thing, and it was
All
less
the
than
time.
24 hours afterwards. You know, you got that one line or whatever, and I mean, and that's the reality of it all. That's how people's minds work and how they think. So, I mean, use that statistic, tell them that.
I think
And
that's
I want to be able to give you the expectations that you want. You know, if you're expecting something, the best way for me to deliver it is take care of everything while it's fresh on our mind. I get you on a couple days and everything else and stuff like that, but all that's going to happen is we're going to lose some of these details, and you're not going to be happy at the end of the day. All right, and we got 4.5 to 5 stars across the board. And not saying we don't ever drop the ball and nothing ever happens, but in order for us to maintain your expectations, that's why we prefer to do it this way. So if there's something I can do for you to help you move and take action today, that's what I'm here for. Don't get me wrong, you can call me back tomorrow and everything else, but I just hate not to be able to meet your expectations because things slip through the cracks. And you can understand why you get that the person, oh, you're pressuring me, you're pressuring me. No, this is the fact of the name, the fact of the game here. If I have to come back, and which I'll be more than happy to do, things get missed. You forget something. You remember something that the last guy told you, or what the guy at work told you, or whatever the case is. And then you forget some of the stuff I said. I forget some of the stuff we discussed and what you were, talking about, and things get missed. In order for me to fulfill your expectations, let's take care of it while it's fresh on everybody's mind. How much did you think it was going to cost? Now you kind of get into it, but you kind of take that objection. Remember, they're programmed. They're just programmed to tell you this stuff. They don't really know why. When they say they got to think about it, and this is just the one you brought up.
Go.
What do they got to think about? Break that down though. What are they really telling you?
The price is too high.
I'm afraid to buy right now.
Or that.
Yeah.
But it all correlates back.
Is there anything they really need to think about?
Fuck
No.
no. They need a roof.
It's a programmed response. They're saying that because it's they either don't know, or they,
They don't wanna say no to you because they like what you're showing them, but they don't wanna say yes because they don't wanna buy a fucking roof instantly. But they're scared to say, but they're scared to say no.
What is it that
because
they have to
don't-
think about? Do they truly have to think about anything?
No,
No.
the real objection usually is, I wanna shop the market.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay. You can shop the market, but you're gonna get 10 very different quotes.
So them saying they want to think about it is they need to think about whether they can get what you're offering cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and that's kind of what they're sugarcoating in another. I need to get more estimates. You're my first estimates. I need to think about it. It all comes down to that.
Yeah, you can get-
But when they tell you that, okay, I need to think about it. Their ego plays into it. Okay, if you start challenging them then of them thinking about it and asking them weird questions and stuff like that, if you don't strategically set and word those questions right, you are attacking them.
Yeah.
And you're taking that right away from them. I want to think about it. And they truly believe they need to discuss this and think about it, but they don't know what they need to think about. It's your job to ask them questions to make them understand how that thought process is gonna be. Okay? You need to think about whether you wanna choose an A+ rated company with the BBB or a D rated company? Is that something you have to think about?
No.
Okay, nobody is. That's a no-brainer, right? So what we need to do is we need to ask questions, and as long as we did our pitch right and got commitments from them, we need to ask the questions where we make them understand, well, they've already thought about whether this company is good enough for them. Or if they want a high-quality company or some bullshit company, they've already thought about that. So when they give you that bullshit excuse, I need to think about it, that's not in the equation. They've already thought about whether synthetic underlayment is better than felt paper, right? They've committed to you. So Kaz, do they need to think about which one's better?
No.
No. They've already thought about the fact and committed to you that 6 feet's better than the 3 feet. They don't need to think about that. They've already committed to you that a lifetime guarantee is better than a limited warranty. They don't need to think about that. Okay? You've already had them pick out the color. Okay? You should during the pitch. You're getting another commitment from them. Before it comes down to the end and you get that objection, oh, well, let me find out what color it is. Fuck that. You should already have a color. So they don't need to think about that. So the only thing they need to think about is if that number you're asking for is worth everything that you presented to them. Okay? But I can't just come out and say, hey, Steve, you just want to think about the price, right? Now I'm attacking his objection. But I got a question. So when you think about it, you got to think about whether a company is good enough for you or not? No. When you think about it, you got to think about whether a product meets your needs or not.
No, it definitely meets my needs.
When you think about it, you got to think about whether a lifetime guarantee is long enough for you or not. Okay, so at the end of the day, you don't need to think about the company, the product, or guarantee. The only thing you really need to think about is whether the dollars are making sense, right?
Correct.
You get them to commit to everything else except for the dollars. You don't even mention the dollars yet. And it's the process of elimination. There's nothing else then you need to think about. And it breaks down in their head and they're going, okay, yeah, you're right, I do need to think about the dollars. Now you're not challenging them. But if you set it up, or you ask them the question up front, you need to think about the money, right? To see if it can fit into your budget. Well, no, I gotta look and see if your company is good. I gotta do my research. I gotta get references and referrals. Because now what they're doing is they're defending their initial objection.
Right.
Because they feel like you're attacking it. I understand you gotta think about it, and that's great. You want to do your due diligence, making sure you're making an educated decision, right? Let's empower him. Let's stroke his ego a little bit. I'm not attacking your objection. I'm allowing it to take place and saying, you're an educated consumer by wanting to think about it. But now let's break it down. You've already thought about a lot of different stuff. You've already thought about whether this company is good enough for you. You've already thought about whether the product is good. Because you've discussed it. You've had commitments. But if you're not going through your presentation going, you got felt paper and synthetic. Price aside, which one would you prefer?
Synthetic.
If you don't ask them that question when you're going through your pitch, it's not going to work at the close. And those are the little things. Keep it simple and stupid. I'm not sugarcoating the question. You got a piece of paper and you got a thin tarp. Which one do you feel is going to give you more protection? It's a no-brainer fucking question. Whoosh, this one or this one? Get that commitment though. Sometimes we just show the stuff and say, well, this one tears and this one's a waterproofing and this one's better than this one. And then we move on, start talking about ventilation, but we don't include the customer and get that commitment. The commitments are huge. All of these little commitments during your presentation when it comes down to the close, that's where these lines work. And you can break it down and the customer's going, yeah, I guess I do like the company. Yeah, I guess I do like the product. I wouldn't want that bullshit. I guess it is the dollars.
include everything.
How much money could I save? Well, I heard this guy down the street and everything else, so we gotta be careful. That's a great statistic. I love it. I think you guys should incorporate that in your clothes every time you use it and stuff, and just, you're building the doubt.
I'll figure out where it's from because it is from an actual study.
And it makes
It's
me
like
think-
Eisen something, Weissen something, it's some
That's-
kind of study.
That stat alone makes me think of how many appointments you guys have probably seen it too. The homeowners that start taking notes the moment you sit down,
Yep.
instantly turns into a great sit. Like, you know that they're listening, you know that they are actually serious about what they're doing. If they're taking notes the whole time, you see what they're writing down, you see what they care about, and then those are your fucking points of emphasis right there. And it shows that they're intrigued, like they're actually serious about buying something.
Just, yeah.
Where the other times, I just feel like I've noticed when they're taking notes like that, those turn into my really good appointments. They turn into more of my sales, more of my real sits. Then the people are just bullshitting, and you can see them not looking you in the eyes. You can see them not giving a fuck about what you're saying until you show them that price tag for $6,000. And if it's not lower than $6,000, they're like, get the fuck out of my face. And it's irritating. But I wanted, sorry.
Go ahead, go.
I was just gonna say, what you're talking about, like building up and really going through the pitch and getting commitments to everything. I feel like I'm doing a good job doing that, but like maybe it's just a rough patch. But like I feel like the last like week and a half, 2 weeks, it's all been about price, and these mother effers don't care about anything other than just super cheap roofs right now. And it's fucking difficult. Like it's really hard to battle these people who are like, listen, I get you're great. Like I looked you up. Everything's great. That's why you're sitting in front of me. And I tell them like, then why am I sitting with you? If like, oh, you could like, you see what we're about. And I'll tell them straight up like, we love what you guys are doing. But at the end of the day, we need a cheap roof, and we get that there's a lot of people out there that can do it for really cheap. And I just don't really know what to say.
Let me show you how my roof is the cheapest. Like he just explained his whole bike story. Of how it breaks down and you have to put in all of that. Your platinum roof is going to be the cheapest roof you're going to put on your house. Okay, is it going to be the least expensive out of your pocket up front? No.
Check out this guy in your free
Victor
time.
Antonio?
Victor
I'm just taking a
Antonio.
picture of your phone.
That's a lot of where I've been getting this. I've been watching, listening to this stuff. 10 sales presentation tips to be more convincing. The art of nudging.
I'll throw some of those
Like
on
he's,
as I'm laying down. And I'll just like go to
When you
sleep.
guys are driving, you should always have a book on tape. Okay, I mean, you guys, and I get it too. That's why sometimes I love, like yesterday, dude. I went out to Waterford for some commercial gutters or whatever, and it's shit that we can't even fucking do. But I picked that lead number one because I figured none of you guys would want to run it. You ran one the other day, and I'm like, I'm gonna get bitched at for sending you guys fucking an hour away and come on back. But I looked at it, and goes, worst case scenario, it looked like a piece of shit. Okay, it turned out it was. I don't know if we could do half the shit anyways. I got a bunch of pictures, but you know, I figured I got an hour there, an hour back. I could throw a tape on and just clear my mind, fucking, you know, refocus, fucking brainwash myself and shit, get up in the fucking, get all fired up, and that's what you guys should be doing at every point. If you can learn one line here or there, just, it gets you, again, away from the news and all the bullshit and everything else. You're not listening to fucking Lions sports radio talk, which is depressing enough. You know what I'm saying? You're listening to something that's getting yourself fired up a little bit. So,
That Thanksgiving game though.
but you were talking about, like, you know, you feel you're getting the commitments and they're coming back to you and saying, you know, I want the cheapest roof. Well, that's, again, you build a value though. You know, long term, what is this gonna do for you? You know, you can spend $8,000 now, all right, because that's what you have cash, or you can spend $12,000 to get something that's gonna last you 30 years. Okay? Let's make this work. You can't afford not to get the platinum roof. It's only gonna cost you more in the long run, the way that these prices are going up. Okay, you put out a quick fix just to save a couple bucks, now it's gonna cost you triple when you do it again. And you're gonna have to do it again real quick.
Right.
You know, could you get 8 years out of your new roof? You could get 8. You could get 2. You could get 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the roll of the dice.
You could get a
That's
day.
right.
If you want the cheapest roof, let me show you why my platinum is the cheapest roof for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put it on a payment plan. We'll do it just like his bike scenario and stuff. Things breaking down. You buy the cheap car instead of the more expensive car. You're gonna, you know, you're getting that extra value or
Car's a
something.
good way to do that.
So if you're getting that, that's the different approach you need to take a little bit more, Julian. I mean,
Especially-
everybody wants the cheapest.
Yeah.
Who's gonna tell you I want your most expensive option?
No one.
Especially.
Don't waste your fucking time. Don't worry about it. Look, man, I understand. I already did my research on you. I just want your cheapest price. You know, I don't have much time. So go ahead. You know, that's what we run into every fucking appointment.
Yes.
They don't want you to sit.
Yeah.
No problem, man. I'm here to give you a free quote that's good for a year. So if and when you decide to get the project done, at least you got my price. You keep us in mind. Fair enough? The guard comes down. Okay, cool, man. He's not gonna try to fucking hammer me. All right, you guys were talking about when you walked in the door. What was that discussion going on? Where Kaz, or actually Julian started it with his thing.
Oh, about my cancel?
Yeah, get into the cancel.
So,
You weren't here to hear the beginning of the story, but I wanted to comment. But I wanted to hear
was
your
going
guys'
over a
thoughts.
builder's roof, 96 was retail, didn't flump it at all. They were battling me, I got a price, they wanted 85 to 87-ish. I got Levi to do it for $9,000 flat, got him to sign. Explained to him, listen, I have no power. I gotta have Levi do this. I'm at my point to where, listen, it's out of my hands, whatever. I sign it for $9,000. I get an email the next day saying that they're within their rights to cancel. Some stuff came up, whatever. I email him back. I get on the phone with him the next day. Tittle came behind me and told them I pressured the shit out of him. I was way too heavy and shouldn't have made him sign today. Tittle did it for way lower and got the job. It's done. So.
lower.
Apparently, they wouldn't give me the price over the phone. I
That's
mean, I'm
crazy.
talking to this guy on the phone, so it was a little bit harder to like
He's afraid.
disarm Tittle and do this, that, and the other, or whatever. But besides the point, Tittle comes behind me, goes lower, and yeah, that's really it. And then Brian started talking,
Fuck Tittle.
but that shit sucks.
Fuck Tittle.
And then real quick, that
Well,
appointment.
you went into more detail. You said that part of the thing on the guy on the phone told you that he thought it was rehearsed,
Oh yeah, he
We're
thought that the
calling-
call with Levi was rehearsed and the advertising assistance was rehearsed.
and you were a sleazy salesperson trying to use all these sales tactics
Yeah,
and
too
everything
pressure,
else.
too pressure. Which I've never got someone to tell me that, so it kind of caught me off guard.
Especially when you
But
probably
Levi was
weren't
doing
even
all the
rushing
talking,
at
so
that one sit.
He was really adamant about how the Levi shit was rehearsed. And I tried to sell him on the 95, or whatever, it was like 95.90 or whatever, it wasn't 96 flat, it was just under. And I was trying to sell him on that, like, for a good 45 minutes. Like, I stepped outside, gave him 15 minutes to think about it, came back inside, they were still whatever on it. I'm like, listen, I get you guys need a roof, and you guys obviously like what I'm showing you. You understand Rock Solid is a company that you guys want to go with, whatever. We're meeting all the accolades that you guys had set for yourself before we got here. We're at this point now, money is a huge factor when you're doing a product, or a project, and that's completely understandable. I just can't make any of the decisions anymore because of where I'm at. But what I can do is call my owner, explain him the scope of the job, and let's just see if he can do something for you guys, because I want to get you guys a roof, I want to help you out, yada, yada, yada. I call Levi and I put him right on speaker. I'm like, this is what we're doing. These guys need a roof. It's a younger couple. We've been here for about 2 hours. At the end of the day, we're trying to make something work. This is this, this is this. And then I set the phone and I stepped the fuck back and they talked for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, it sounds rehearsed,
Okay,
completely.
okay.
You set up, you put him on speaker, now you're like, okay, Levi, take over. Like, you already knew what Levi was gonna do. Okay, you said, I'm already here, okay, I can't do anything, but what I can do is I can call my boss. Okay, you gotta act like that's just a reaction, like, you know what, you fucking love everything. I hate to fucking walk out of here because of a couple $100 or something. You know, let me just see one thing real quick before I go. Now you get to the phone and you just say, hey Levi, I'm with the customer, this is the deal. Not like, well, I can only do so much and everything. That sounds completely rehearsed.
Okay.
It does. You got bid into it, okay, and they ended up signing. But if I came in behind any of you guys, or I came in behind Rock Solid,
And heard that.
I know what my competition's gonna do.
Right.
Like, you guys hold behind hands, you know how they fucking work and operate, right? So I bet you he did the whole, call the boss and start at this number and come all down, right? Oh yeah, that's exactly what he did. Yeah, you think that? How do you think I know that? Because they do it in every fucking house.
And why wouldn't they sign with them?
Okay, so I mean, if I came in behind anyone from Rock Solid, I would say the same thing. Well, I bet you he did the old call the boss and get you a better deal, didn't he? Yeah, fucking, it works every fucking time, right? And
Honestly,
now I just completely smash your credibility.
Yeah, why
But
wouldn't
the
they?
other thing is, why did you allow Tittle Brother to come in behind you? If you close them, they're canceling their appointment with Tittle Brother, and Tittle Brother doesn't have that opportunity to bash you. Okay?
I didn't even
So
know
they
were
weren't
coming.
completely closed. You know, when you sold that job, what made you most comfortable with going ahead and putting this on the schedule again? Get those reaffirmance and those commitments and everything else. Get them to hear each other. Why are you comfortable? You're comfortable because you're comfortable with. If they're comfortable, they're not really gonna spend 2 hours with another company the next day, because I'm sure you spent a couple hours with them, right? So they don't know that the other guy might only be in there 10 minutes. But they're thinking that, and if they're like, you know what? Something was shady about what was going on, you know, let's just still have Tittle Brother come up about it. And that's kind of what happened.
Exactly.
And then they came and they started bashing you and doing all that stuff. Number one, why are you even talking about builders?
Builders?
Yeah. If you're looking at builders, call Tittle. I'd rather them put on a shitty roof and get bashed all over the internet for doing it. You know, then when that happens, you're gonna get sued for $10,000, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, maybe you bashed Tittle Brothers so much in your pitch that they were like, I gotta hear what this guy's gotta say.
I should have.
Why is he fucking hammering Tittle Brothers?
Did you talk about Silverwood?
Not once. I should have brought him up.
Okay,
But-
maybe that's it.
Yeah, I should have.
You know, I mean, I'm just throwing out
Yeah,
different
I was
scenarios, I'm not there.
first sent, so whenever
How long ago did they cancel?
yesterday.
I
was there 2 days ago. They
I don't
canceled
know
the next
why,
day.
but I'm this type of person. I just want to fuck with them. I'll just send them a picture of the Tittle quote.
I should have, like,
Read subsection 4.
but that's
Just
where I
to let
messed
you know.
up because I've never really had to deal with it on the phone. But I wanted like, what's funny is I was in the car with my brother and his fiance. We just came back from dinner, and I was reading my brother the Tittle quote. I'm like, bro, I gotta tell you some crazy shit because he's a mason. He's in construction. Like, want to hear some crazy shit? I pull out the quote and I was reading him line 4 and 7. I'm like, these motherfuckers who I go against for roofs. And he's a lot older than me, so he was like, no way, you use that in your sits, and he doesn't get it, but. And I get that phone call as I'm reading that shit, so it's in front of me. And I'm on the phone, I'm like, do I really read to them over the phone? How bad of a person do I seem if I instantly like want to hear some shit crazy about
They
Tittle?
signed a contract. You don't have to read it to them.
Yeah,
Say,
you
hey,
should
do me a
say-
favor,
say-
pull out your
Should
shit.
I have done that?
While I'm on the phone with you.
You know, you could have just screenshot it, send them back, and just say, you know what, a customer just sent this to me,
Still
and they're
can't.
going with us because this is what they found on the back of their contract. So read your paperwork.
What do you have to lose?
I still can.
What do you
Listen,
have to
did you
lose?
hear what I just said?
Yeah.
What?
The
I
you
just-
can
I
send them a
wouldn't send it to
screenshot
them
and
at
they say a
that point.
customer just sent this to you and now they're gonna go with us because of this, that, and the other.
How would, turn your contract over and read it carefully. You don't have to say, hey, cancel them or whatever, and just say, just make sure what you're signing, you read very carefully.
Let them figure it out.
Right, let them read it and everything else and go through it, because now it's not you bashing them, you're not telling them what's on there. You say, a customer just sent this to me and everything else, they were appalled by it, don't know how people can do this or whatever, so make sure you read your paperwork carefully. And then they'll look it over and they'll see it, and you got a highlighted section on it,
I'd
and shit
rather
like that.
have the old call the boss for the drop rather than the sue me for $10,000 for complaining about you.
Or jack the price
True,
up.
but okay, think about that,
That's credibility.
when you're making that phone call. See, you're, right now, you're too smooth. Okay? So you know what you're saying, you set it up, you're using the right stuff, but we gotta be careful that it doesn't sound rehearsed, because it does. That's why I was mentioning to you, when you come to the phone sometimes, it
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
so rehearsed instead of natural and everything else. You gotta make it, now that you got what you're supposed to say down,
Yeah.
you gotta make it sound like it's just a natural conversation. That you're having with them. Slow down a little bit.
It's like almost
Maybe
better
you
that
move
don't
too
know
quick.
what you're saying sometimes.
Maybe you move too quick to go from the 9,600 to the $9,000 when you got to the phone real quick. Instead of, no, that's all I can do. And focus on the platinum and the preferred and hammer it, hammer it, hammer it. Then 2 hours later, then go into the drop for the builders.
Yeah.
Um,
I might have switched too soon into the builders. They were talking preferred, and then they were seeing like I'm not gonna open up 20% below par or whatever, so it's higher than the builders by a lot. They're looking at it, and they're a young couple, both 23 and 24 years old. They're looking at it, and
How are they
initially,
paying for it?
huh?
How are they paying for it?
Finances.
Okay.
And they were instantly, they didn't even know if they wanted to run financing. It was, remember they had their credit, it was on a hold because she got her identity stolen. So it took us like 40 minutes to get the credit lifted initially. But besides the point.
But you're selling a payment.
Exactly. Going over the.
So instead of $9,000, which a payment would have been $110, okay, you're at your preferred at $13,000 and your payment's $140.
Yeah.
What would that be? Let's get the real numbers. What do you got there, Brian?
It's not far off.
You're not.
9,000, the payment is
118.
118, and for
160, I
14,000,
think, for the 14.
14,000 would be,
184. 85.
Okay,
so about $70 a month more.
Okay, so that's $2 a day. Okay, extra to get a hell of a lot better roof.
Yeah.
Okay, one that's gonna last you, one that you're gonna have a warranty on, one you're gonna have protection on. Okay, would it make sense to get the better product, like your whole bike situation, for $2 a day? What do you do? Where could you? Well, I can't afford an extra $2 a day. How much could you afford? Without taking food off of the table.
About $1.50.
And get them their payment. Well, now their payment rate goes up, right? Okay, so about $1.50. So now maybe you can negotiate that down and get them the payment,
Right.
or make them understand. Look, I see you got a coffee. Do you like your coffee? How do you like it, man? Yeah, I go to Starbucks too all the time. The one over here on the. Take it all completely away. Just have some bullshit conversation with them. Yeah, that one girl Sandy over there, she's a doll. She always hooks me up. She writes cool shit on my fucking, on my thing or whatever. And just, oh yeah, I know, Steve, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And you're just bullshit with them. Well, how much is that fucking coffee? You already know. It's $5. Okay, how many of those you have a day? Well, I always pick up one on the way to work. Okay, that's $5 a day. 5 days a week, that's $25 a week. That's an extra $100 a month you spend on your coffee. And you're saying you can't afford an extra $40 a month, $60, $70 a month?
I like that. Instead of
On
Starbucks,
your
go to Tim
roof?
Hortons, now you
That's
can
what I was
afford my
just gonna
roof.
say, yeah.
Instead of Starbucks, go to Tim Hortons, now you can
Let me
afford
ask
my
you a
roof.
question. What's your biggest investment?
My house.
Your house. Wouldn't you want to protect your biggest investment? You could sacrifice a couple cups of coffee
Right.
a week to get your house protected. I mean, because
Yeah.
ultimately this is where your family resides, right? This is where they sleep and everything else. the last thing you would want to do is to harm your family because your roof is
Right.
leaking, or the mold, or the mildew, or any of that stuff.
You just brought up something that I've been thinking about, because I say this is your biggest investment, and probably every appointment I'm in, just at some point or another, that sentence comes out of my mouth. And I've had, just so happens the last like week and a half, 3 people called me out, they're like, this is a liability. Because they haven't paid off their full house yet, so they look at their house like a liability, not an asset. And
No, your roof's a liability,
yeah,
not your house.
right, and they came at me like saying their house was a liability. And it caught me way fucking off guard.
Flip the switch on it. No, actually, your house is your biggest asset.
Yeah,
Your
it's an
liability
asset.
is the fucking roof you have up there right now.
Right.
If you protect your roof, you're gonna protect your biggest asset.
There you go.
And you wanna get the biggest return on your investment, don't you?
Absolutely.
You sound like an educated man, don't aren't you?
You can also drop the payment price versus your,
Right.
versus your actual price, it probably end up.
But not yet. Let's play the game. Hold your fucking ground. There's no need to drop. You gotta get them to understand what are they really objecting to.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't have tried to go sell the builders and I'd go through that. You know, like you said, you would put this felt paper on your fucking doghouse. So why are we even talking about it? Why?
Right.
You know, you shouldn't even be having that discussion with the customer at all. It should just be like, well, I need the cheapest thing out here. Well, that's gonna cost you the most. My old man, before he passed away, he told me one thing, okay? He taught me one thing. He said, look, if you spend a couple $1,000s more than you should have, what did you lose? A couple $1,000s. If you gotta do it twice, how much you really lose?
A whole lot of money.
A whole shit ton of money.
Cost versus-
You know, and you put that perspective on them and everything else. And look, if that's the type of roof that you want to put on your house, I don't want to be responsible for putting up something that's going to fail. Okay, we have 4.5, 5-star ratings across the board, and that's for reasons. We do quality work. And if I put up, nobody knows that you put up the cheapest thing out there and you have a leak and everything else. But your neighbors remember whose sign was in the front lawn, and they realize that the new owner who's sitting here, living here, is complaining that they have a leak. And that makes me look bad. So, if that's the case, I don't want to be blackballed in your neighborhood. Call up Oaks, call up Tittle Brothers, let them be blackballed in your neighborhood. So therefore, nobody wants to do business with them and they'll call me.
Right.
I don't want to put that shit out there. Yes, I want your business, but I don't need your business.
So say you just filled out your 4-box sheet for roofing, builders, whatever. All 3 boxes are filled out. You even do another roofing, all 4. You hand it to them. What's the first sentence that comes out of your mouth?
Nothing.
I'll say no.
Good.
Yeah, you don't say shit.
Until they say something to you, and then what do you
Actually,
Drop the mic.
Well, say you hand it to them and you
my,
wait like 5 minutes. You're
always
letting them
my
read the
first
fuck out of
thing.
it.
Always my first thing is there's 2 different prices here because when you hand it to them, sometimes they're confused. They're like
Yeah.
34,000.
Oh no, I explained.
I always, that's the only thing I say. I say this first line here is suggested price we sell it at by the manufacturer in order for us to stay in business as a company.
Right.
We have a half off install, that's what I got you at right now, and then I shut up.
You say it like that?
Yep.
With the attitude and everything.
I don't know.
And a half of it, so here you fucking go, fuck you, show you my asshole later.
No, I show them
Right,
that.
This is a damn.
Well, no, that's what I'm asking.
Good man.
If you practice like that, that's how you're doing it in the house, you don't realize it. I was busting him up a little bit earlier for a couple words. He said, he goes, well, I didn't say it like that in the house. I'm like, well, shit.
We need
Yeah.
that.
If you're gonna tell me that's what you're saying, or you're gonna explain that story to me here, that's how you said it in the house.
100%.
And so, just like, just kind of the way you're at, well, this is kind of our retail price, nobody ever pays that, that's our, manufacturer, but that's our sales price at the bottom. All nonchalant like that, okay, then you're wiggle-woo. You're the fucking weasel, man.
The reason I asked that question is because
Wow, yeah.
then I ask, like, once they say something or they look at it, and the first thoughts come out of their mouth, I'll respond or whatever, and then I'm like, I ask them which package is really, grabbing their attention, grabbing their eye, which one is, best suiting their needs just off face value that you're looking at. And after I get their answer, even if they say builders or whatever, then I'll ask them why, what's going on with it. And then I'll say price aside and I'll do what, what you talk about, whether or not talk about the company, talk about the product, get commitments. And a lot of the times, they're still on that builders. And then I don't really know what to
I
do.
think the main problem is that I'm seeing, you said your one line that always comes out is the investment, or the investment thing.
Yeah.
The
at
thing
some
that
point in time.
always comes out at every one of my sits, as I'm going through the 3 packages, showing them the felt paper, the this or that, is this is felt paper. Looking at it, right, you can tell me that if water touches this, it's probably gonna seep right through.
Of course.
I would not wanna put this on your roof. This is what's been putting on roofs since the 60s, the 70s, it's probably on your roof now.
And that's why I'm here. to
That's
set it
why
up.
you have a leak. Please don't make me put this on your roof. I'd rather get you into this package at a better price rather than meet you in
So take the build, so,
I always take the
No,
builder
no,
right
no,
out
no,
of it.
no. Okay, so I mean, I like it because you're kind of taking the builders out of it. However, let the customer tell you and let them take it out of there.
Yeah.
Let them come back and say, don't even bother pricing me on that. I don't want that shit.
That's what I
that's
tell
what's
you.
hard.
But you're telling them this is a piece of shit.
Yep.
It is,
Mhm.
okay, but ask them questions and make them tell you it's a piece of shit.
Right.
Okay, build it up. No, this is minimum code. Felt paper, 3 feet of ice shield. They put the ice and water shield up 3 feet, protects against the ice jamming, and then they cover your house with the rest of this felt paper, and then they put the shingles on top. Now, let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you wanna know before you got your roof done, what might go wrong with it before it goes wrong? Okay, 3 feet of ice shield, explain why 3 feet of ice shield is gonna, fail you, because it only goes up, it's not covering inside, the water will still back up, you got an overhang, then you got the pitch, the 3 feet isn't good, so that's why we cover and we use the ice and water shield. Okay, if this was cost effective, I'd cover your whole fucking house in this ice and water, because it waterproofs everything, except it drives the cost up. So for us to be very competitive in the market, we gotta think of a different alternative. And that's where instead of using paper, we got into this stuff here, okay? And explain the differences, okay, paper, it tears. Hand it to them. Don't tell them it tears, do me a favor, try tearing that corner.
You know, people
What just happened?
fucking hate when I do that.
What's
I
that?
stopped handing it to customers because then they just look at it.
Yeah.
Tell them what to do with it.
I do.
They do.
Try tearing the corner.
I know, then they're like,
I had one
Right,
person.
and then they tear it, right?
I'm like, give it a
Okay?
little tear, and they're like,
That's exactly what you want. I got rolls full of it back there. That's exactly what you want.
My
Okay,
biggest-
hand them the one that's torn and they can see it. Yeah, I can see that this tears. Now let me ask you a question. That gets nailed up on your roof before the shingles get put on. You think there's wind up there?
Yeah.
Okay, roofers are still walking on it. What do you think the chances of it tearing before they put the shingle up there?
Pretty high.
Pretty high. I'm getting you to tell me this, right? So now the roofer has two options. He can go through and tape all of the seams that were torn, or what most of them do, and they just start pounding, right? And they start laughing. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. The problem is, what happens? You have a roof 2-3 years down the line. They rip off the shingles. Okay, you call up Owens Corning. Oh yeah, I got a lifetime warranty. And they call up Owens Corning. They rip off a couple shingles, and they see that your felt paper underneath was torn. What do you think's going to happen to your warranty?
What warranty?
thanks for calling Owens Corning. Have a great day.
Okay? Your customer is telling you this. You're not telling them this is what's going to happen. You're leading them. You're asking these questions. That's the big difference, guys. We're not pressuring people if we ask the right questions and have the customer tell us.
So that's what
But
I'm.
if we're fucking slamming them and telling them this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, no. I'm asking you questions and letting you put it together because you're educated. And you're going to tell me, yes, it's going to leak. Now let me ask you a question. You guys ever been to McDonald's? Bought a medium pop, left it in your cup holder overnight?
Mhm.
The next day, because it was still full of ice, you lift it up, what happens? Let my customer tell me that. Well, this is what's underneath your shingles. Same type of thing, it's a piece of paper. If water gets underneath your shingles, what do you think's gonna happen?
Condensation's gonna get through, moisture or something.
Moisture's gonna get through, just like the bottom fell out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you have a leak and you have a problem. All right? This is why 1 out of 10 roofs that are done leak afterwards. If all I'm doing is putting up felt paper, that's why you have no warranty. If you were a roofing contractor, okay, now put the spin on him, and all you could give your customers was this piece of paper to protect their house underneath your shingles, would you want to be responsible and liable if the roof leaked?
Fuck no.
Why not?
It's gonna cost me more money just to fucking take care of it.
Bingo. So what happens is they have a limited warranty that not if it leaks, but
When?
they don't have to be responsible for it. Is that the type of company you want to do business with?
Fuck no.
Is that the type of product you want to put on your house, whether it be me or anybody? So that's why we got into this product here. And the first thing they're going to do is try tearing it. And they're going to know, you don't even have to say nothing at that point. They're going to try tearing it. Yeah, completely tear resistant. Okay, I don't have to rely on my roofer to do the right thing and tape everything up or whatever. I'm going to use material where I'm going to eliminate that as a possibility. Okay? What do you think's going to happen to that when it gets wet? I had a lady the other day, a little old lady, she called it a raincoat. Because it's kind of what it is. Okay? I say that same fucking line in every house. But the way I'm presenting it to you, it's like this was a legit customer I had 2 days ago. Okay? That's how you gotta come across, like as a casual, even though you rehearse this every single day, you can't present the price like you do this 17,000 times in a month.
But I
Okay,
do.
this has gotta be, remember, like going back to, you ever seen a good concert?
Of course.
You ever seen a bad one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seen some
No.
pretty
Should have
shit
been to a
ones.
concert.
But what was the best concert you ever seen?
Best concert I've ever seen was a Travis Scott concert.
Okay, how about you?
I've been to some pretty shit concerts, so. Kid Rock was an
Yeah,
awesome concert.
all my
too.
concerts were pretty bad.
Besides the Burner concert, Kid Rock was great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how about you, Brian?
Yeah.
Beach Boys?
Probably 311
I
Dirty
bet no,
Heads.
but. What's that?
311 Dirty Heads.
Okay.
I like
Steve-O? Just trying to get you
Only
guys
been to
tasting
one
music.
concert with him.
What was
Okay.
it?
Burner, the
Burner?
owner of Cookies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
dope.
He had his debut like Detroit
Fucking
show.
dope.
Most people don't even know he was in Taylor Gang with Wiz Khalifa. Like he was part of
I didn't
Taylor
know
Gang.
that, but I didn't even know
Yeah.
he was the owner.
Okay, you mentioned Kid Rock, that's just a big one, everybody
That's
knows
why
who
I
he is or
threw it
whatever.
out.
Okay, I've been to Kid Rock, I've been to a couple of them, couple different concerts and shit like that, but Bon Jovi is one of my favorite. But you know what, how many fucking concerts does Bon Jovi or Kid Rock put on?
Hundreds. Hundreds and
Hundreds.
hundreds.
They're putting on 3 a weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Every fucking weekend. Alright? They've already put on 30 different shows and you go to his 31st show. You have no clue he already put on 30 shows. He says the same exact things, the same exact lines. Half the time they don't even remember what city they're in and they fuck up the city. Welcome to New York! You know, and they're in Detroit. You know, because they say the same thing and they just put in the new city. But you could never have noticed when you go see these concerts that these guys have put on 30 shows back to back to back to back, and they have the same energy, the same excitement. Okay? You don't care about the 30 other shows you put on, you just care about the one you're at. And this guy better fucking bring it because that's what I'm paying for.
It's a great analogy, Dave.
That's what you guys gotta do in a customer's house. They don't know that you've had 17 million quotes and sits. You gotta, this is your stage, the kitchen table, you gotta put on that show, you know, the best you can. You can't be nonchalantly showing them the price, you can't, you know, you gotta tell those stories, like this is the first for these people. I had a little old lady the other day, man, she was about that tall, it was funny. And I showed her this synthetic and she was like, man, it's kind of like a raincoat. And it kind of like clicked in my head, I'm like, you're right.
Basically it is.
You know, it's a raincoat for your roof. You know, stops the water from coming through. Isn't that the type of protection, though, you would want to put up there? You know, to cover and protect everything and, you know, now protect your biggest investment? Okay, now if you had that roofing company, Steve, and you would put something like this up there, you'd feel a little bit more comfortable backing it up if it leaked, wouldn't you? Because chances are it probably wouldn't. That's why we can give a guarantee where nobody else is. Okay, if they're giving you a limited warranty, you really think they're using the good stuff? No, they're gonna be using this stuff. If they were upgrading you to the better stuff, don't you think they would give you a better warranty?
Yeah.
So now you're painting the picture, those two things go hand in hand. You're implying that fact, getting the customer to tell you that feedback. That's why we try to be the first person in. You establish yourself as an expert, now you can come and sit there and go, yeah, this is the problem. Everybody down, you know, the street, you probably go to work and, oh yeah, I can get you a hell of a deal on a roof. For the guy down the street, he came and did all that stuff, right? You really think that they're using the good material? They're the cheapest in town? Okay, that's how many of these companies compete. When I'm starting to set up the platinum, and I'm talking about there's 20,000 roofing companies in Michigan, there's only 17 platinum and everything else. I'm planning to see that there's 20,000. How do all of these companies compete if there's 20,000 of them? How do they compete against each other? Yeah, most of them feel that if I'm the cheapest in town, I'm gonna get more business. Okay?
That's true.
Right, that's how most of them operate. This is what I have, something comparable to that. If you want cheap, I got cheap. But like you said, you would put this on your dog, whether it be me or from anybody else. So when they eliminate that package from you, that's the importance of doing the 4 boxes. When they say, I don't want that, and you put a big X from it, they're not just saying, I don't want it from you. They're saying, I don't want it from Tittle, I don't want it from this guy, I don't want it from Chuck in the truck. Because if they come back and say, well, the guy down the street said that, you know, he could do it for $8 grand, and you got a price around $8 grand there, like you said, that's not the quality you want to put on it, no matter how cheap it is. Let me ask you a question, Julian. How much are you willing to spend on something that don't meet your needs?
$0.
Well, they're charging you $8.
Yeah.
Because you've already got a commitment from them saying that that package doesn't meet their needs. Now it just, all of a sudden it clicks in their mind going, you know what, you're right. You're right. And every time that little fucking snap happens, that light bulb goes off, you're just building more credibility for why you deserve their business.
More rapport.
It makes sense. They're clicking. You're the expert. The trust factor's coming in. And you're not telling them what's going on. All you're doing is leading them. You're asking the questions so they make that decision out on their own. I can't make a decision, on the first night. You hear that all the time. Bullshit, they've made so many decisions. If you ask the questions. You're comfortable with hiring us to do the work, right? As a company? So you've made a decision on that. They don't realize it, but that's where those commitments come in. You're comfortable with the products and stuff that we're using, price aside, right? So you've made a decision that the synthetic is better than the felt paper. You've made a decision that you want 6 feet over 3 feet. You've made a decision, you want a platinum contractor versus a non-platinum contractor. So the only thing you haven't made a decision on is it worth the money I'm asking for that package? It's about the dollars making sense, isn't it?
Right.
Just out of curiosity, man, what did you think this was gonna run? Not exactly. You see how my tone of voice drops down? I'm just getting more sincere, just bullshitting with you. Now come on, man, reason with me. What were you hoping? Well, I'm not sure that's why you're here. I mean, come on. If you thought this project was gonna be a couple $100, you would have got this done a long time ago, wouldn't you? And if you thought this was gonna be 60, 70 grand, I probably wouldn't be sitting at your kitchen table today, would I? So you had a clue? Ballpark, what were you thinking? They'll spit out a fucking number, you're reasoning with them, you've gained their trust. You don't have to battle for it. So you thought it was 15, gonna be about 15? Okay. I'm at 19. So ultimately, the thing you can't make a decision on right now is that $4,000 difference from what you thought it was gonna be and my actual price, isn't it? Because if that $4 grand wasn't there, and you could get this project done with this package at your 15 grand, it'd pretty much be a no-brainer for you, wouldn't it? Now I got the commitment. If I could have done it for 15, I would have.
And then you drop right to 14.9. I'm just kidding.
I can get you in the preferred.
14,980, 250.
I can get you in the preferred. No, I don't want that. Okay, so it's the platinum is kind of what you were thinking. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me write you up an estimate. So therefore you have something in writing. So when you get your other quotes or when you're thinking about it later on this evening, at least you have all the stats and, you know, all of the details in front of you. Fair enough?
Thinking about it later this evening,
Taking the pressure off. I'm not trying to pressure you. Now I'm gonna pull out my estimate sheet and slowly start writing it up. That's what they want from you, right, is that estimate. I can't close them if I'm giving you your estimate. Now they're like, and when they do that, man, how many times, I mean, if you've ever done it, how many times do they just start bullshitting with you? They think you're done. They might start talking about the coffee shop now, or talking about the car that they got out
It
there.
happens.
Right? Now they're comfortable with you. They're bullshit. You're writing up the estimate. There's no conflict of you trying to close them anymore.
I hate when they're like,
Because now they're-
Ryan's writing an estimate.
Just hogging it in my fucking
And
hand.
just fucking waiting. I'm like setting up my iPad so they can't see it.
Then hand them something else.
Yeah.
Hand them the colors.
Yeah, that's right.
While I'm
do a lot
writing
of
this up,
times.
pick out a couple colors just in case some of them are discontinued, I can't get them. You know, part of that is also too, we talk about, is keeping control of the sit.
Yep.
Don't let the customer dictate what's going on, stick with your game plan. You've had it rehearsed over and over and over and over, and that's why we try to drill it in your heads. We're trying to brainwash you guys in here, so something gets thrown, a curveball gets thrown at you, there's no other way to react except for the right way. You know, when we preach this whole, there's the system, trust the process, okay, there's the reason for it all. You know, it's not just because we want to fucking play that power game and say, well, we need you to do this, and we're telling you to do it this way. Don't listen to Zig Ziglar because he's going to fuck you up. Okay, he is, to a certain point. You know, because a lot of the different, you know, you get into these sales guys, some of these gurus and stuff out there, they question.
But they're
They question the hell out of these people. They qualify them. Okay, there's times when to do it and everything else. We're all fresh, man. We're all brand new. If you start asking those questions right now, you guys are brand into it sometimes where you're going, fuck, if I didn't ask that question, I fucked my head all up.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't have said that or whatever. That's why when we say follow the process, it's to alleviate and eliminate those questions that we may be asking up front that's just gonna fuck with us. You know, I almost did it yesterday because I wasn't following the rules and I was talking to this, you know, this gutter job or whatever. And as soon as I started getting into it, they showed me a couple sections. And I immediately, because I was like, dude, we don't fucking commercial work, whatever, this is
Right.
bullshit, I want to just get the fuck out of here and everything else. And I'm like, did they tell you over the phone that we have a minimum of $2,000 on the gutters? And they're like, no, they never fucking said that. I'm looking at a 26-foot run and another 20-foot run. I'm like, yeah, this is a small job. And they're like, well, we got another section over here that we wanted to show you too. And I'm like, motherfucker, I get all the facts first. I'm already talking, trying to get out of here saying we have a minimum of $2,000 and everything else. And then they walk me to the other side of the building. I was like, you dumb fucker. You know, I mean, it happens. I've been doing it 20 some odd years and shit. Like, I still fall in that trap. You know, I'm not running appointments every day. I'm out of the loop and shit like that. So when I get in, it's like, motherfucker. That's why it's like when you take days off.
get your shit together.
I know, seriously. When you take days off, it takes you 2 or 3 days to get back in the groove, though. Because you miss this shit.
It's the ones that you don't want, you want to walk from, and they won't let you. They're like,
They
oh
won't.
yeah,
Then it turns into a deal, right? They're like,
They're all
Turns out
in.
it's sale
Right.
every time.
And you're like, shit, I wish you wouldn't have called me.
So you guys been in the situations where like you're already an hour and a half into an appointment. You fuck something up and you're at a point where you're looking at something and like it's about to be sold, but then you realize something that you didn't notice and you're like, fuck, like if I turn this in, this might be, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're
You forgot the
having
gutters?
something, yeah. Like,
The window
you're
trims.
doing you're doing a roof. They don't bring up gutters the whole time. You're at a point, and they're like, gutters are included, right? Because you might have said it in the beginning or done something, and it's not included.
No, I do that all the time.
Because it happened to me a fuck ton of
Win-
times.
Windows are the worst for
Roofing and
that.
gutters.
What I do is-
Windows, oh my god.
I-
Grids.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I like that vintage linen. That's happened to me twice now in the past 2 weeks. They're
My
like,
bottom has gone
no,
about 3.5
here's
grand
tan.
higher than what it was
Is
prior.
there? Do you have a lighter color than that? And I'm like, well, let's look at the swatches. Vintage linen. I found out that vintage linen is a painted exterior color.
Right.
$300 fucking bucks more per window.
Whoa.
Damn.
And I'm just
Yeah, one of
like,
the things is picking out the colors up front.
yeah.
You know, and I use that too as like my time is like some of the icebreaker. You know, sometimes I get in there and I'm a little nervous and shit like that. And you run into some people's houses and shit. You run into people's houses and you're kind of intimidated by them, you know, or
Sometimes,
whatever. You know, the way that they come carry themselves or whatever. And you shouldn't be because you're dealing with everybody. But, you know, so that's where like going through the colors and doing your measuring and stuff. I use that time for me to relax.
Yeah.
You know, loosen up and shit like that. Now I'm just starting talking, we're getting into it. It's like, all right, cool. All right, let's go to the kitchen table and let's get into it, you know. And, you know, that's why the company story and stuff too is consistent on every house, is because once you get into that, you start talking about what you know when you've done it so many times, you kind of tend to relax a little bit more. And that's why practicing is so huge.
I'm getting bad at that, to where I'm too comfortable with the company story. I'm loosey-goosey with the iPad. I'm not holding it up to them. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it to the point to where I'm hitting all the information I should be. I'm too comfortable.
You know what I do then?
Too
Because
comfortable.
I'm getting the same way. I
Well,
flip
get
my
me our license and
iPad
insurance.
directly away from me, where it's only facing them, and I flip it like this.
Okay.
So I don't. So now it seems like I'm not reading it, also, but they're seeing every single step.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right.
Because I was doing the same thing. There was sits where I had my iPad closed,
Right.
and I go through the 8+ BBB and all that, and then I open it and show them the 3 feet ice and water and all that. But then I noticed same thing. They're
Yeah.
kind of disinterested.
Yeah.
So now I put the iPad up, and then when a guy's on his phone or looking away, I just stop.
So
I stopped giving a fuck because I was like, if you're not gonna pay attention to me, I'm out of here, bro.
Kaz and I fucked up the other day. And I don't even know if you realized it, but I realized it later that night. You fucked up bad. That is the Albanian one
Yeah.
with the woman who couldn't breathe.
Uh-huh.
Do you know why we fucked that up?
No, I don't.
What happened?
We didn't include the aunt, not once. Never once spoke to her. No, I don't even know her name.
Yeah, I don't know.
I realized
Well,
that.
that's three
She was
people.
sitting right there the entire time.
I realized
And
that.
I
you're
never,
talking
I
to
looked at her a
I
couple
looked at
of
her a couple
times,
times. Yeah.
but I was
She
100%
didn't
talking. She can't speak English.
She can't speak
Oh.
English.
And I didn't involve her whatsoever because of that. And instead, I should have been like, hey, you know, what's your name? I'm Brian. You know, let her know that, you know.
Even if
"Oh,
she
my name's
can't
Brian."
respond to me.
Yeah,
Let me let you in on a little secret. The ones that don't speak English know a lot more English than you think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they do. They
Oh,
understand
yeah.
it. They just can't speak it.
And they probably can speak it a little bit, but they know every
broken,
single word
so,
you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, you're probably right, man. She's probably the one with the money. It's probably her house.
It is.
It is
no,
her
it
house.
was.
It
he
is.
was translating for her. I know. I fucked.
She
up.
was
I
giving
got
it
home that
to
night
him
and I
when
was
she
sitting there
had
thinking,
it.
That's
I'm
where you
like,
gotta make sure your hand and her that shit. Not just let
I
her.
sold one just like that. It was daughter, and then she was translating for the mom and dad.
Yeah, like
Every single question that I had for reassurance, I'd look at the parents, and they would speak in their language. I don't remember if it was.
that's how I
Chinese
sold
or something.
Zing Lee. I looked
But
at the
I
parents, but
looked
the
at
kid would
them,
translate to the parents.
And they just, because they could say yeah, they could say yes.
And
you
like
know,
they
so-
spoke like broken Spanish, English, and Chinese, so like it kind of
well,
understood.
because remember, he was like, well, we need to, you know, I need to help, you know, talk her through this.
Should've saved
I-
it.
So I thought about it that night, and I'm like,
Back on what you were
dude.
saying about the builder and trying to eliminate it, I kind of think this is a builder price now is my metal roof, if that makes sense. As soon as I go into like a Macomb house or something, they're like, oh, I'm thinking of metal. And I'm always battling. I'm like, well, you know, what about the metal that excites you, you know? It's the same thing with the builder. What about the builder that excites you? Metal, it's the guarantee. Builder, it's the price. So when I'm trying to battle the metal roof and they're like, I want metal, I want metal, I want metal. I'm like,
It's a nice
let me show you what I could do and tell you why I wouldn't want that. Same thing with the builder. I always think it's my metal is my builder.
Right,
I want the two in the middle.
right.
That's every time
You're
I
gonna
say it.
eliminate the low, eliminate the high. You're dealing
Yep.
with something in the middle.
But
if
in
you
order
get the
to-
platinum at the price of the preferred, it's a no-brainer.
So
But in order to
realistically, we don't
eliminate
even want
that-
to sell it over.
The builder.
No, the metal.
No, I mean you do, right?
If you have a certain clientele for it,
Yeah.
then they're gonna pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I walk in and I'm like, and they're like metal, 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 and I show them platinum, and they're like, I don't fuck with platinum, and I still don't want preferred. The builder's bullshit.
They'll never tell you that. You gotta lead it up to that, because
I've had
with a metal roof,
Beautiful, you want a metal roof? I'll show you a couple different options. I'll show you the metal. I mean, what is it about the metal that most turn you on?
most of the time it's either the look or it's the fact that it's metal and it's sturdy and they feel like it's not gonna fail them.
Okay. You'll notice more people will need to, well, it's a lifetime. I never have to do it again.
Yeah.
You'll get some people that like the look of it, and then that's great. Then we'll get them in the metal, no problem. Okay, but most of the time you'll find out it's the guarantee. Beautiful. So you're looking for a lifetime product? Awesome. Let me show you a couple different options. I'll show you the metal, and I'll show you a couple other alternatives. And then you go through your pitch like you normally would. And usually when they see the metal double what your platinum is, they'll gravitate towards the platinum. It's still lifetime, and you're good to go. You know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want to go back. We kind of briefly just mentioned this too. The process.
I like that.
The first thing is trust the process. Okay. We gotta go back to the basics, guys. And this is something we kind of discussed with the you know, the questions, going back to your pitch, everything. This, you know, we talk about it and everything else, but this is just a reminder. How many of these things do we forget to do? Okay, arrive on time. All right, that's a big thing, guys. Especially these, you know, appointments when it's slower in between the day. There's no excuse for being late. Okay, get up early. They appreciate that. Your warm up. All right, that line you should be saying is, "Tell me 3 things about your roof. Tell me 3 things about this." It's gonna get them off of their game plan. Remember, these people have their story already in their head. When the sales guy answers the door, when they answer the door, sales guy's there. What is their story? Look, man, you're my first guy. I just want to let you know up front, I'm not buying anything today. I'm getting 4 other estimates. You're my first guy.
They've been sitting there waiting for 3
How many times you hear that?
I love throwing them off. That's my favorite thing is when I pull up to the set is I try to throw them off because they try to like walk outside and show me whatever. When they try to like take control of that initially, I try to like do something else.
That's why that
Literally
line is so
anything
important.
else.
That's what that line is for.
Yeah.
It throws them off their game. As soon as you knock on the door and they open the door and they have this whole rehearsed line that they want to tell you their story. Hey man, I'm Kaz from Rock Solid. Tell me 3 things about your roof. Now they're caught off guard and said, hey man, what's going on? How are you? You ask that, now hey man, you're my first guy. You're opening the door for that response. Take control right away. Hey, I'm Kaz from Rock Solid. We had a 3 o'clock appointment to give you an estimate on your roof. Is that correct? Great, tell me 3 things about your roof. Well, it's about 15 years old. I'm noticing some granule loss, and I had a leak by the chimney last year, but I had it fixed. Why don't you show me where you're talking about? You're taking control, you're getting them to follow your game plan, and you're not listening to that bullshit.
And I love when they tell me leaks too, because that's the first thing I do. If they tell me leak, I won't even want to get up on the roof. I'll tell them, let me in your attic. If you have attic access and you have a leak, let me in your attic, because then that gets me in the house.
Regardless,
initially,
at
and
this
then I
point,
go back out.
we're just trying to keep our mental attitude good.
Yeah.
When they tell you you're a first guy and you're getting 72 other estimates, what does that do to your confidence level? Why are you fucking getting 72? Oh, here we go again. Look, man, I'm just letting you know, we ain't doing anything till next year. I'm doing it with my tax money. I got no credit. I filed for bankruptcy, so I gotta wait till next year to get my financing in line for my tax.
Why did you call me?
Great. Let's see what we can do.
Okay?
So you're paying cash?
All right? All that's doing is fucking with you.
Yeah.
Okay? You're there to give them a free quote that's good for a year. You're thinking about, if you let that affect you up front, you're thinking about the close right now. And remember, our first 3 steps, get in, pitch, and close. You need to be focused on how can I get to the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I can sell this person. If I'm doing it on the porch and he gave me all this line, you go, why am I here? Well, are you paying cash then? You're thinking about how are you going to close it. You're 2 steps ahead of the game. Okay, and that's going to put up the customer's guard. I'm just here to give you a free quote. So that line right there, tell me 3 things about your roof, it usually disarms them right away, and they start focusing on what you're there for. Instead of giving you that rehearsal. They still maybe have all of this shit built up and everything else. Why do you think they're telling you that at the front door though?
Because they've been rehearsing it for the last 30 minutes because they got there. They're scared to be sold.
They may have had other quotes, and the last guy was there for 3 hours, trying to hammer them, so they want to let you know up front, hey, you ain't getting a fucking deal today. I'm not signing nothing. I don't care what you fucking do, so you might as well just be in and out and be quick. And most people, most reps, will be nice and quick now because they're like, fuck, this is a waste of my time. He ain't got no fucking money. Yeah, here's your quote. Have a nice day. Give me a call. Here's my card. That's what most people will do, and I've done it.
I've done it.
Exactly, right? Because it just fucks with your mindset. And how many times have you just let it go in one ear, out the other, and no problem, I'm just here to give you a quote. You sat down with that person, and next thing you know, the guy who just filed bankruptcy, you didn't realize his mom just passed away and he inherited a bunch of money.
Yeah, he's paying cash.
He's paying cash. He's a drug fucking dealer. Whatever it is. Okay? You find that stuff out later. I don't even know if this guy needs a roof. Why am I worried about how he's paying for it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Most money's dirty
You
money
know,
anyways.
Levi goes in there with a different mindset. He goes in there and asks these qualifying questions. Right now, how long you guys are, much experience you have, it's gonna fuck you up. Okay? I don't even ask those questions because I don't care.
Right.
I've walked from too many deals by asking those questions and going, well, this guy ain't got no money.
Right.
You know, and then they reset the appointment because I go, couldn't get in. You know, guy didn't have the time or whatever, and then the back room calls it up, gets somebody back in, and I find out that they fucking sold it. And I walked from it the day before. Motherfucker, you stupid ass, I'm listening to the customer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem with it. So that line, guys, believe it or not, is crucial. Take that guard away, get them thinking about what their project is, and not to mention, if you ask the husband, tell me 3 things about your roof, and he tells you those 3 things, the wife who's sitting on the couch, she's listening to him tell you all the bad things that's wrong with the roof.
Right.
How can she come back later and say, well, I don't know if we really need a roof? She just heard her husband tell you all the reasons why they do. So now they're on the same page, right? So get them to tell you that. Don't ask those pre-qualifying questions. All it's going to do is fuck with your head. There's a time and place for them, but wait till later. I need to get them to the kitchen table. That's where I'm going to sell them. All right? Next part, your ground game. Get the customer to walk the job with you. The survey. Okay? Guys, star that one. I know we don't use it. Just ask those questions and get the commitments that we're not getting during the pitch. Okay, yes, if you're getting every single, well, I do that stuff, you know, verbally, I get the commitments. No, we're not. No matter how much you're trying. You're telling them what's going on. The survey asks those questions and get them to tell you. Use it. It's a huge closing tool at the end as well. The inspection, the hover, do your digital analysis. Get the videos, guys. Don't be showing them the videos on your phone. Everybody hold up your phone.
Airdrop that beat.
I do. I put them on my iPad every time. I love the digital.
Oh, my
access.
crack screen? Is that what you're looking for?
I'm looking for everybody's crack screen. You got a new one.
I got
We
it.
all got one.
All right?
No, my screen's cracked.
Had to get it.
All right,
my-
to show a video with a fucking cracked screen and fucking paint and shit all over your fucking phone, very unprofessional. Plus, they're squinting at it.
I airdrop.
Airdrop the
Messages
shit
and
to your
shit.
iPad. Let them use the bigger screen. How many older people do we see?
A lot.
Okay, you want them squinting at your phone? Not to mention every time you get a text message or something coming in, it pops up at the
Oh
top.
my
and
god.
all that
I
shit.
don't even want to talk about it.
No, now you gotta tell us the
I don't
story,
want to
'cause
talk about
it's
it. This happened
happened-
to me
It
yesterday.
happened to me a couple
We'll
of
get
times.
into that later, all right, because I do want to hear the story. All right,
It was
but
good.
airdrop this shit to your iPad.
It was good.
You're using your iPad for your presentation, there's no excuse for it, it wasn't plugged in, it wasn't charged. You know it's one of your fucking tools, you're not gonna go into a war and not put bullets in your gun, are you?
That'd be pretty stupid.
I mean,
Got a couple extra bags full.
Okay, no, you're gonna make sure everything's fucking loaded up and you're ready to go, all your tools are ready. Make sure your iPad's all set up. You're gonna need it for your hover, all of that stuff. Show the digital analysis on your iPad. Your pitch. Every single house you go to, guys, you gotta pitch it. I don't care if it's roof on garage or siding on garage or something, you still gotta go through it. How many times does that roofing garage all of a sudden go, well, you know, while you're here, why don't you give me a quote on the house too? It's a little bit older, I wasn't planning on doing it. If they're excited about your product, because you were excited, even though it was a small fucking job, you can turn it into a bigger job. When I first started, I was running nothing but fucking picture window leads and door wall leads. Okay, because they figured when I was 17 that I couldn't handle a $20,000, $30,000 ticket to show somebody and sell it. So they gave me all these fucking bullshit 3 windows, you know, gutter guards and stuff, the low ticket and everything else. And then I'd be coming back to the fucking office and I'd have fucking, you know, a $15,000 window job. And everybody, because my dad worked there, they were like, oh, Dave gets all the, you know, the father-in-law leads, or the, you know, his dad's been here forever, so he gets all the great fucking leads. No, I got that picture window lead, and I went in there and put on a show of a fucking life, okay, and went so crazy, got so excited about everything, about this picture window, that they were like, well, you're here, might as well price me on the rest of the house. And I turned it into a house full of windows because they were so excited about it. But it's easy because you have a gutter lead only, and then you half-ass it, you don't go through with the same energy. You know, and then you don't get that upsell onto it all. Go into it every single fucking time, no matter how many windows, how big a house it is, how small it is. You never know. This could just be their one fucking trailer, and then they got another house over here in Waterford or whatever, their cottage. You know, well, why don't you come out here? I'm gonna buy the builders for this place, but I love that platinum, man. Why don't you come out and give me a price on that? All right, so you gotta have that same enthusiasm. You have to go through the company story, the warranties, price condition. If you miss any of those steps, it's funny how that one will come up at the fucking close.
Every time.
If you don't hit and hammer the company story, well, I don't know much about you, I gotta do my research. But every other customer that you hammered it on, oh yeah, I went to Google, I saw you guys all over the place, we love you, we did all our research. And you happen to mention that to that, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you skip it on that one house, that's what comes back up at the end and is an objection.
So what do you do if you go to start the company story, right? You sit down, Cause this has happened to me only a couple of times this year, but this happened to me like maybe 2 weeks ago. And I go to, no, I'm good, I don't wanna hear all that, I just need a quote.
Okay, great. We just show you a couple things and then I'll get you that estimate. And I go through it,
And then you just go right back to it.
Fuck yeah. We just show you a couple things. That's what's beautiful about the iPads, they don't know how many slides you got.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't know how long it's gonna be. We used to walk in with those big thick books, and they're like, you ain't know, don't even fucking go into that. But that was also cool, because if they weren't paying attention, and when I got down to the end of the pitch, you know, and they're just like, oh, well, you know, did you like everything? Well, I don't know. I said, and I haven't even shown them the price. Well, you must have missed something. I closed the fucking book and start all over. Well, I saw it. We started in 19, you know, or whatever, and then no, you know, because they would know it. It was funny, but yeah, I mean, just let me just show you a couple quick things. I'll get in and out of here.
Yeah, the guy was being a dick.
You're gonna run into assholes too.
Yeah, and it rubbed me the wrong way, and I was just like, you know what, fuck you. And I was just in a bad, I don't know what it was, but it took me the wrong way.
There are those customers who are just like,
They know
There
the
is, guys.
dude,
And when I
regardless
talk
if you're
about
gonna
this,
buy from me, I don't want to fucking deal with you.
yeah.
Like
And
literally.
like for me, I'm like, dude, I paid money to be here today.
Right.
At least you can do is listen to what I have to say.
But usually, if you can break through that asshole,
Mhm.
he's putty in your hands the rest of the time.
That's what I've
And you don't have
noticed
to
too.
negotiate with them and everything else because they know that they're a dick. And if you can get through that part of it,
Damn.
that hard,
You can't
you know,
make me.
his hard,
Fuck,
thick
then we're
skin.
good.
If you can get through them, usually
That
they'll
makes
open up
sense.
from them. So don't freak out too much because they're looking at your reaction. They want you to freak out. They want you to just go, well, here's your fucking quote. That's what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's
You know,
pushing.
and so
play the
get his guard down, no problem. And you may have to go off your game for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just show you a couple things and start pulling out the underlayments and discussing that. And once you got his attention, he's like, oh, okay, so I see this and stuff. And then you can pull and introduce him
I do
back
this
to
a
the
lot.
pitch.
I do this a lot. Because when I sit down, first thing that, you know, open it up and we start just talking.
Yeah.
And then you get that fucking asshole. It's just like, I don't want to hear what your company's about. It's like, okay. And then I actually, I change the order of the pitch.
Okay.
I just go right to product because that's really what he fucking wants to know before price. And then I go to company story before price. So I go product, company story, then
Sometimes I
price.
can do that too.
I don't
You know
always
what?
go
I've done that
company
a couple
story,
of
I
times.
product.
didn't try that. I didn't try that.
You
It
can
works.
eliminate it though a lot of times if you're using the digital analysis on your iPad.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing the video already on the iPad, you're introducing it, and they're seeing the iPad, and now all of a sudden you just start going into the company story. They're used to looking at it, and it's a little
That's
bit
why-
easier transition.
That's why I upload my pictures on there, so I can scroll through 10 pictures, and they've seen me scroll through 10 things. I've been moving my finger, going through 10 different things on this iPad. If I double click the home button and quickly click Sales Rabbit, it's already on the roofing pitch.
Yeah.
I'm already still scrolling. They've already watched me scroll through 10, 15 things. The
What you
video,
want to
pictures.
avoid though is that when that guy's being the asshole, don't you want to know about who you're dealing with?
Oh, that's bad.
You know, don't you want to know any credentials of the company?
Yeah.
You know, now you're attacking his objection of not wanting to see the
Yeah.
company story. It's important to
I've
him.
done that multiple
But right now he's focused on just show me what you fucking got.
And that's
Show me
pretty
the
much what I did with that last one. I said, you don't want to hear anything about us, anything about the materials that we have? Nope.
Right.
Like,
Well, then fuck you.
that's kind of what.
I mean,
They think
I
you're
don't
gonna do
know.
this huge fucking, you know,
Presentation.
one of them timeshare presentations and shit.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to avoid. And that's what, no, I don't care about it. I just want to know your price. I just want to know your price.
I would always.
Yes, it matters what the price is, you know, what's coming with it. But they're just being that hard ass about it. And guys, too, when I'm talking about the trusted process, this is for the rule. Okay, there's always that exception to the rule. I don't want you guys to throw, I mean, this is gonna work on 80% of the people that are out there and
Yeah.
put you in a position to close them 50% of the time. Okay, you're still gonna run into those jerks. But the majority of the time, if you're following the process, it's gonna set you up to succeed.
Right.
Okay, you're not gonna close all of them. I get it. It's not gonna happen. Sometimes you're just not gonna find that, it's not gonna click in their head, but if you follow this, it's gonna stack the deck in your favor. Go through all of the products, the survey. When you're done with the pitch, this is my report card so the office can see how I did. Why do we put it on as a report card? Why do we use that line?
Because then it falls back on us.
Well, no, so they, that, and so they answer, go through it again. You do the initial survey and then the second one, make sure that they don't do both at the same time.
Well, yeah, the whole reason of giving it back is to get those extra commitments once they've seen it.
Well, if they don't
Why
do
do
it,
we word it this way? This is my report card so the office can see how I did.
because if they don't
Should've
do
It
it,
takes the stress off of like trying to make it seem scripted. Like I'm trying to get information out of you. It's my report card. It falls
They
back
look
on
like
me.
a
It's my
fucking-
performance.
they look like
standpoint.
an asshole
I
at
honestly
that
feel
point
like
if
the
they don't
survey
do
makes it feel more scripted.
I agree.
But I think the reason that that line is really in there is because it puts more of an importance of how you guys really care about how we present ourselves.
Yeah.
It puts that we actually care. in my opinion.
And if
We
they're
give
not
a fuck
doing it-
about what you think about us and what we have to offer.
The real reason it's, you guys are touching on a couple different things, and it all helps, but the main reason it's worded that way is because we want the customer to rate you, not the product.
Right.
They can be more skeptical if they rate the product. You know, you ever see that guy, I never give anybody 5-star ratings, okay? So we don't want 8s on because they're rating the product, they don't wanna say, oh, it's the best stuff out there, but if they're rating you, it's more personal.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't want to give you a bad score. You've just been there and educated them for the last 2 hours. The last thing they want to do is insult you, especially because you haven't given them a price yet.
That's what I'm saying.
So you still got to work out their numbers, right? They don't want to piss you off and have him going rolling his eyes. Well, fuck you. You don't want to know nothing about my company? Well, here's an extra fucking 0 at the end, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're controlling that aspect of it all. So if you put it on you, they're more apt to give you higher grades. And what they're doing is they're committing to that now. Now when you come back and you say, well, you rated us a 10 out of 10. You're not looking for more, right? It helps you get those 10s because they're rating you, okay? Not to mention, this should be turned in with your guys' paperwork. I should be able to look at these surveys and see, are you getting all 10s or are you getting 7s? If you're getting 7s, maybe we need to work on you getting more commitments during your presentation, okay? Very, very rarely do I not get all 10s. Now, you talked about the survey and stuff kind of sounds scripted, okay? Kind of is. That part is.
It is.
But that's what people expect.
No.
Okay, you go into the doctor's office or whatever and you sign in, what do? They hand you a fucking clipboard with a big ass survey.
Does anyone give a fit about filling it out?
You just check off the boxes, you're putting in your symptoms, everything else, so they can analyze you. It's no different. Here's your fucking roof survey. Show me the symptoms your roof is having. People are programmed already, they're conditioned to filling out surveys.
Well, no one else is doing it either.
How can I solve your problems if I don't know what's wrong with you? Okay, but then they're writing in their problems and what their concerns are. And then you come back and you hand them the survey again, it's no different. Everybody asks for a survey. You buy something, oh, can you go online and give us a quick survey?
We just make it easier, instead of going on the back of a
Because
receipt.
the survey, it doesn't actually tell you anything about their problems. It tells you what they're looking for
Let me grab.
the future roof, not the roof that they currently have.
It says how important are these aspects to you. Is ventilation important?
Yeah.
Okay, is a guarantee important to you?
Curb
Yeah,
appeal.
It might be
It's curb
important to
appeal.
them,
So curb
but do they
appeal,
really believe
protection.
that they need it?
Yeah, but Steve, I've had someone put a 3 on ventilation on the initial.
And
They
then
may not say that they necessarily feel that
They
they
have
need
no
it.
clue what it is.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
that's when you're
that's
like,
the thing. 90% of any roof I go to, they don't know what the fuck it is anyway.
so that way you can isolate it
Yeah.
and let them,
educate.
educate them more. I mean, you're probably already hitting it anyway, but that way you know,
Oh, big
once
time.
it's time, it's like, okay, well now you understand the value of ventilation, what we're,
Yeah.
what we're gonna do
I don't
for
really
you.
understand
I
what
think I hit
just
that
value
most
is.
of
Like for when, because it says curb
It's
appeal, protection for your home, simple. Proper ventilation, simple. Guarantee, simple. Installation, simple. And then value and price. So
Overall
price
value.
is simple. I mean, how much do you want it to be? If it's whatever. But value.
Well, how
is
important is
what's-
price on this project?
Right.
Are you concerned just absolutely nothing else but the price?
Okay.
That would be a 1. Okay, if they're, or I'm sorry, that would be a 10.
Yeah.
If they don't care about the price and they just want all the quality, they're gonna keep it down. So value, they would have way up. Look, I'm looking for the best bang for my buck. That's kind of like
Okay.
the overall,
Okay.
a good way of looking at the value part of it.
Okay.
A combination of it all. But it serves a couple purposes. Number one, it introduces this up front. If we just introduced it at the end, the survey at time of close, that's where you're gonna get the resistance and stuff, and they're like, well, what is this? This is a closing tool and all this other shit. If they're used to seeing this up front and then we just put it back out at the end, now they're not as afraid to fill it out, okay? But also too, think about it, if they're putting on their ventilation or guarantee isn't important to them, because I'm moving, I don't give a shit about the guarantee, and they put it low, think about it, you're not gonna spend 2 hours talking about our guarantee and how great it is, okay? And that's what the customer's thinking too. Well, ventilation is very important because I know I got the moisture and shit like that, I had mold growing in my attic. Okay, now I might spend a little bit more time on ventilation because I know that that's a concern of the guy. So that's why they're starting to think about it.
Right.
That's the main reason for that too.
Show you right.
He just rushed home from fucking work and his wife told him as soon as he walked in the door, oh yeah, by the way, in 15 minutes the roofing guy's coming. He hasn't thought about the problems with his roof. He hasn't thought about any issues or what it even looks like. We need a roof, what the fuck? Well yeah, honey, it's about that time. Remember when we bought the house 15 years ago? The inspector said we had 8 years left. We're 7 years overdue. Oh fuck. So now when you hand him that, he's looking at it going, all right, well I just came home from work. What the fuck? I've been sitting in a fucking, on the line all day long in a
Yeah.
fucking, a plant and shit. Curb appeal. How can your roof have curb appeal? That's not bad.
3.
Oh, ventilation, that's fucking really
8,
important.
9.
Okay, protection for my house, yeah, I want it protected. Oh, I definitely want a guarantee. Fucking price, here's a 15 on price. Okay. You know, now you're starting to get him to think about it. And when he comes in, just kind of review it. Okay, so you're not too concerned with how it looks? Yeah, it's a fucking roof. I barely look at it. Okay, no problem. I'm not gonna spend 3 hours talking about how beautiful the roof is. Still gonna touch on it, but I'm not gonna go crazy. Now I know, okay, so warranty is important to you guys? Well, yeah, you know, I had, the last house we were in, we had a leak and everything else, and then they went down to their warranty. I'm getting these stories out. Okay, great, I'll set it aside. But it's crucial when it comes to the close. This is my report card so the office can see how I did. Okay? Use that word, and guys, practice this shit, especially in the winter.
Do you say that the second time you give it to them, when you're done
Yes.
with your pitch, not the initial time?
The initial time is, hey, where is it? This will help speed things up and address your particular needs.
Okay.
Remember, their mindset is, they want you in and out as quick. And if they can fill out the top portion of this report card real quick, now that's gonna limit the time that you're gonna be there, great. They're gonna rip it out of your hands and do it.
Yep.
Okay? If you're getting resistance from it, it's how it's in your head.
Yep.
You shouldn't, it's how you're delivering it. Don't be afraid of it, man. Okay? You know, I talked to my guys down in Florida and everything else, you know, Fred, and, you know, I don't know if a couple of you guys have met them. Some of you haven't and everything else, but, you know, again, they branched from Hanson's. I went down there and jumped in this company. They said if they could take one thing with them, it would be the survey. If they started another company, this is what they attribute most of their success down there, is implementing the survey. It's huge, guys. You don't have to be that rock star fucking closer and everything else if you're using the survey. It helps when you can learn these little one-liners and how to ask questions and shit like that. But if this survey asks the questions for you, it gets them to commit and come down and say, look, when you need to think about it, you don't need to think about whether you need more than a 10. Price aside, you wouldn't want to settle for anything less. You don't need to think about more. And they're looking at it going, you're right, I don't need to think about that. I like it all. The only thing you need to think about is a price. And part of our biggest objection, the hardest part when it comes to the close to get out of the customer, is that number they were expecting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This survey pulls it out of them.
Or at least getting price as an objection.
Well, that's what it does. It gets price as the objection.
Yeah.
And I feel even without that survey, with us, you know, with how the scripts and stuff and how we question them, we do get them most of the time to understand price is the objection. I think sometimes we stiff arm them a little bit into telling us price is really the objection. This doesn't settle it.
Or you just
And they
assume-
realize,
Or you just assume, like, I'm guilty of this constantly, you just assume that price is the objection, and then you go immediately into a drop, and then
you find out, oh, I gotta check out your,
Yeah.
you know, I want references, or I got
Yeah.
this, or whatever.
once you've already done that, you're fucked, pretty
Right.
much.
Once you give the price, you can't go back. But then it'll pull it out on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate my price? Well, what would my price have to be for that to be a 10 out of 10 too? And they'll give you that number though, and that's one of the hardest things for us to get out of the customer is that number. Now we can know where we gotta negotiate down, or where they're drawing the line in the sand, and it's huge, guys. Especially this time of year, practice using these surveys. Work on it.
Right, so we're using this, so we gave them the survey in the initial, we've done our pitch. Now it's time for the survey resurfacing. This is my report card to see how the office, you know, see how I did. Do you ask them to do it and you circle the 7 form? Or
No,
hand
here,
it to
do
them?
me a favor, I hand it to them, I'm gonna figure out some of your numbers. While I'm doing that, fill out the bottom section of this is my report card so the office can see how I did. And I'll hand it to them like that, and then I'll start adding up. You mentioned you hate when they're looking over your fucking shoulder, looking at your quote. Give them something to do.
Okay.
They can't be looking over your shoulder, looking at your quote if they're fucking filling out the survey.
I was gonna ask, should I make them sign it before I give them the $4?
Yes.
I was just, oh, before I forget. could you
That's
sign this
your
for me?
report card, I gotta turn it in.
Yeah,
Another thing, how many one-leggers you guys go on?
decent amount.
Okay, so you walk up to the door and you have both the husband and his wife's name on there. Okay, and when you're sitting there and it's just the wife, look, I got both of you guys on the lease of your wife isn't here. Well, this is my report card so the office can see how I did. I have to present it to everybody who's on here, and I need their signature at the bottom. When's a good time for me to come on back when both of you guys are gonna be here? Because I don't get paid unless I have both of your signatures on there.
Bam. That settles that previous spot.
It's another bullet that you have.
Kapow.
Not saying you're gonna need it in every fucking house, but if you're not using it, right? You're gonna go into a house this week and next week, and you're gonna run into a one-legger, and you're gonna go, motherfucker, if I would've had my survey and used it, I could've used that line. You know, it might've worked. Okay? Not saying you're gonna need it and you're gonna use it, but I'm not gonna get caught in that fucking fight without a bullet in my gun. I'm gonna have everything in line just to make sure. You don't always have to use it when it comes to the close, but I've had people too, they'll fill out the survey at the end, and fill out all the tens, and they'll look at it and go, oh, you know what? I do like everything. I mean, you rated tens across the board, and the price isn't, you know, honey, let's just, you don't have to fucking drop. They're putting the pieces together just by looking at it, and you don't have to say anything. That's the difference, guys. We're telling these people too much shit instead of asking them questions to let them tell us. The survey asks those questions for them to tell us instead of you saying, you love my product. You wouldn't do anything else, would you? You did. No. Ask them the questions. It's huge. And that's where our mindset's got to change a little bit. Backdoor. Ask the questions and have them tell us.
This guy showed up to a car dealership to buy a fucking Corvette, and the salesman instantly starts going off about the speed, this, that, and the other, how crazy it is to drive, how you feel like a NASCAR driver. 5 minutes goes by, and he says it's for a 16-year-old girl's sweet 16 birthday party. But the sales representative instantly started talking about this, that, and the other, not talking about the safety factors, not talking about when she's in a bad neighborhood, the roof can actually go back down, it's not going to stay open.
If he handed her a survey,
But if he
hand him a survey, and he puts on safety as number one, speed and all of that safety is a 10 out of 10,
Right.
and speed is a 1, he might direct her to a different car
Right.
versus this car or whatever, and have a better idea. It's no different. You know, so
Trying to outplay everything.
keep it in mind. I mean, yeah, we want to believe that we're the fucking slickest guys out there. I'm not, man.
Shoot yourself
I'm
in the
not the
foot,
greatest
you don't
salesman
think so?
out there. Yeah, I got a lot of experience now, but I follow the program. The program made me a shit ton of money. And I wasn't pressuring people. I wasn't this sleazy, you know? So after the survey, make sure we got to show 4 prices. Guys, we got to show 4 prices. I've been going on a lot of rehashes. So jobs that you guys have gone out, pitch and miss it, I've been following up. I'm looking at your 4 boxes and seeing 2 prices on them. I'm seeing no payments on some of them. I'm seeing you guys opening it up 35% off. No discounts from there. Okay? 4 boxes, 4 prices. You gotta show all of it. You gotta show the low end, the high end, so they can eliminate that. I don't care if they tell you during your pitch, don't even fucking price me on that. I don't want that bullshit. That's what I want to hear. That means I'm pitching it properly. I'm getting the message across to them. Okay? But you still price them. Don't show me monthly payments. I'm a cash buyer. I don't give a fuck.
Still gonna show 'em.
Still show them the monthly payments. Because they may only have $9 grand put away in the bank and they can finance the extra 4 and get the upgrade.
Well, that was my.
But they didn't know you had that as an option.
Yeah.
Okay? They're cash. And I tell you, yeah, man, I got more money than God. I pay cash for everything I do. I hate fucking payments. And then all of a sudden you show me a $10,000 price or a $20,000 price and I had 10 grand in the bank expecting this. I told you for 3 hours I'm a cash buyer. I'm the man. I got all this fucking money. And now I'm going, hey, man, show me those financing options again.
Right.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go, oh, everything looks good. You got a card? And I'm going, fuck.
Right.
How am I going to come up with the rest of this money? Show them that, because that's all of a sudden they'll look at that and go, oh, it's $200 payment? Well, how much if I put 10 grand down? What would my payment be then? Now you know 10 grand is what they thought, and they're looking to finance the difference. He might just sit there and say, okay, on 20 grand, how much do you need as a deposit? Great.
F.
Now he's a true cash buyer. Right? But how many people actually have $20,000 sitting in their fucking bank account right now?
Not a lot. Christmas time, man.
And even if they do, keep their money in their bank.
Yeah.
Right? Especially this time. Okay? Finance it. You go buy a car, you're not buying the fucking sticker. You're buying, what is that monthly payment? What's it going to cost me a month? People, again, are conditioned to monthly payments. Don't take that away from them. Most of our competition can't offer financing. Okay? You're chucking a truck, when you're dealing with the guys that are dealing with the builders, low price and shit like that, our competition, just because they're a low price, isn't offering financing.
Right.
They're chucking a truck, they can't. The banks won't fucking even spend time with them. Okay, I bet you that guy's asking for half down, isn't he? Yeah. We've heard all the stories on the news. Right now with COVID, did you guys go to Novi by chance? The Novi Home Show? This year?
Wasn't able to make it.
It was about a third of the contractors in Novi that are normally in. So let me ask you a question. What happened to 2/3 of them over the last 2 years?
Goodbye. But on business.
Yeah. It's been rough for all of us.
Either that or they just can't afford it.
Okay? So let me ask you a question. This guy comes in here, these small little independent guys, they ask for 50% down. Okay, right now there's a huge, we talked about it, there's a huge shortage on materials right now. Half of our materials and supplies is still sitting in the fucking, in the ocean right now on these fucking big ass cargo ships and shit, and we can't get anything from them. Okay, now let me ask you a question. You got only limited supply of materials that are available right now. Supply demand, we kind of talked about that. But who do you think that these suppliers and these manufacturers are gonna distribute their materials to? You think that they're gonna distribute to the guys that do $10, $12 million a year in business? Or guys that do maybe 800,000? Who do you think is gonna get first crack at those?
Billion.
The big dogs, right? Okay, so these little guys are cheap on price, you gave them half down, and now all of a sudden they can't get your supplies and your materials. You're out your deposit, and now you call them up. What do you think their voicemail is gonna sound like?
Remember you dialed it, this one.
2/3 of the people that used to be at the Novi show are gone. So how many people are sitting out there that gave deposits that can't get a hold of them anymore?
A lot.
Probably a lot.
Do you wanna be another statistic?
That's a fucking gut shot type of sentence.
But I'm not,
And it's a
I'm
good
not
one. No,
hammering
it's a
them.
good one.
Right, I'm backdooring them and I'm just asking questions, I'm painting the picture to them.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why, so, you know what, I understand that. We're a bigger company, everything else, we don't have a problem getting our supplies, yes, they're a little bit delayed, but we're gonna have first crack at it, we're a platinum contractor, they're gonna offer us the material before they're gonna offer anybody else, to keep our status and everything else. Alright, but, now you can take, and I know Levi wants deposits and everything else, but you can always, if you needed to, put the spin on it, we can do this job with a minimum deposit, get everything rolling, and so therefore you can have the peace of mind knowing you're gonna get this project done the right way, and you're not gonna sacrifice your
Make the
deposit.
deposit feel nice. Question.
I mean, if that's what their holdup is, we can still do zero down, don't get me wrong, we want the money and everything, but if that's what you gotta do to scare them against these other guys, and push them into the financing, by all means, push them into that payment.
If I sell it, if a job's 10 grand and they're gonna deposit 5 grand and finance the other 5, on service finance, do you put 10 grand, deposit 5?
Yes,
You do?
yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you just put 5 and then take 5 cash. Making sure, because I've never done it to where I got a
Yeah,
deposit with
no, you have
financing.
to
They
say
never do
what-
it for me.
Yeah, specify that.
They'll never do it.
So
for
guys,
me,
4 prices, monthly payments, again, they have to eliminate the high, I mean, and the 4 prices is huge on a close. Right, how many times have you shown the prices and they eliminate the low and the high, and you come back and say, well, you feel the platinum is a better product than the preferred, don't you? You'd expect to pay more for the better product, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
So the question is it worth the $3,000 extra to get the upgrade that you want and deserve, isn't it? Okay, I'm pulling that number out of them, that $3,000 difference. We're drawing a line in the sand. If they can get the platinum at the price of the preferred, it's a no fucking brainer. If I don't price it 4 ways, I can't build that scenario to the customer. They don't have an idea. They need to know what the price of the 70 inch is versus the 55. So now when I start dropping the 70 inch and get it close to that, they're like, oh fuck, man, it's almost the same. I might as well get the upgrade. But if they don't know what the 55 inch is, that game isn't played.
Most
In
people
their
don't
mind.
do it too. They
What's
don't-
that?
Most people don't do, or most companies don't do
Fuck
4
no.
boxes, 2 boxes. They give you, like a lot of times when I ask to see quotes, it's just,
One person.
it's a
They might
price.
have the 4 boxes, but 1 box is filled out.
Another big thing is that it might seem like common sense to you guys, but I did it for a while and I got myself out of it. But say Builders is eliminated, Metal Roof is eliminated, and you're preferred platinum, and you've done everything you could, and now you're at the point of advertising assistance. You get a code, we're Gucci. Don't drop the preferred and the platinum. Only the one that they're focusing on, because I did that for a little while where they would tell me they wanted platinum, I would get an advertising assistance, and I would apply the 13% or whatever the fuck I wanted to do to both of them. And then we're at the exact same point I was at 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, the difference is
Yeah,
still the
it's
same.
pointless.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking
No, I do
pointless,
it all
but
the
I
time.
didn't- I do it all,
I'm
I
like
did
when I
too.
get this advertising code or whatever, how the fuck I say it, I'm always like, I'm gonna apply it to the one that you really want. I'm
Right.
not gonna go ahead and apply it to both because I'd rather, you know.
No,
And I
it's
can't
not
apply-
available.
I can't,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can't apply
it to both.
Now I
Yeah.
can't.
The only reason
That's
we
what
can
I'm
do it
saying.
is because we're trying to push the platinum.
Right.
You know, we buy so much bulk, 80% of the jobs we do are a platinum job, and we have a little bit more wiggle room on it. You know, where the other ones we don't. So yeah, and that's a good point, only discount one of the packages. But, you know, I mean, the same thing, you know, I read in a book, you know, successful salespeople, even if it's like, you know, somebody at Men's Warehouse or whatever, you know, making sure to build that rapport, like you talked about the car situation where the guy was asking this question, talking about the speed and all of that stuff. Pay attention to your customer. If you walked into Men's Warehouse and stuff and you go over to the ties and there's a couple of them you're feeling like that, and you're holding up and you're looking at, I'm not gonna go over there and show you some off the wall fucking suspenders.
Right.
Right.
You know, you're looking at the ties, you're touching a couple of them. Those are the ones I'm gonna focus on, those are the ones you're interested. When you talk about, you know, presenting the price to the customer and you explain the different packages, you'll see her go, oh honey, 189, that's not too bad. They're pointing to the they're pointing to the fucking tie that they want. Pay attention to that. Wow, that's a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. They're pointing to it. Which one's that? Don't assume, well, I got the builder's one for you. Don't go into that. No, just, you know, okay, which package are you talking about? And then they're gonna point to it. Now you know where your focus should be. I want, you know, it's the daughter who's getting the car, not the fucking husband.
The one who speaks
You know?
first loses.
We'll get to that one.
So
We're not there yet.
that's-
All right?
Ever since,
So 4 prices, the monthly payments, guys, crucial. On all 4 of them, anytime you do a discount, you discount the platinum, show the new monthly payment that's at it. Because again, that gap between the payments is getting lower too. Now it's only $25 a month, where it was $40 a month now. I can afford an extra 25. As your number comes down, their number starts to go up a little bit. All right, so once you present the price, I had my 4 prices. I got my retail price, okay? Then I got my 10% off, and I bring it down to that's the price that's good for 30 days. Okay, I don't usually say it, I say that's good for the season. All right, then I have the monthly payments down, and then I also have the 18 months no interest. So again, if they're pointing at something, I know what tie they're grabbing. And I explain, okay, here's the builders. This is the felt paper, this is the 3 feet of ice shield. If you want inexpensive, this is the most inexpensive way of getting your roof done. Okay, but that's with the felt paper, there's no warranty, nothing like that. Like you said, you probably wouldn't put it on your roundhouse. Okay, then you can upgrade to the preferred. It's a much better roofing package. You get 6 feet of ice shield, followed by the synthetic, but it's still very limited warranties, because again, they're missing matching, that's with your generic material. Here's the platinum, here's the bells and whistles, here's the synthetic underlayment with the Owens Corning, the 6 feet of ice and water all valleys, ridges, chimneys, pipes, and around the flashings. We're going with the ridge vent, gives you a lifetime guarantee across the board, platinum plus. Then you can get the metal roof. Most people are most turned on by the metal because it has a lifetime guarantee, but if I can give you a lifetime roof with the package of the platinum, it's usually a little bit overkill. Okay, here's my retail price. That's the price that we lock in stone. It's good for a year. Whatever sale promotion we got going on when you call us back, this is not my wording. When you call us back, I'm implying you ain't doing nothing today, so I'm keeping the pressure down. So this is the price that we lock in stone for a year. So when you call us back, whatever sale or production or promotion we're running at that time, we'll deduct at that time. You'll never ever pay retail. Okay. Now, right now, what we got going on, we're going into the slower season. It's going into Christmas time or whatever. So we're maxing out our seasonal promo. We got half off install, which is equivalent to 10% off the job. Brings you down to these prices, which is good for the season. Okay, now I didn't know your financial situation, so I grabbed a couple base programs. If you put it on financing with nothing down, I underlined the 0 down. These payments won't begin until January, February of next year. Okay, I can get you in the low monthly payment option up top, or I can get you in 18 months interest free if you don't like paying interest.
Yeah, Dave, that was pretty fucking simple. That
I
was
slide,
perfect.
I
and
slide it in front of them, I put my pen down, I sit back for a minute and relax. When the pen's down, it means I've done negotiating. Okay, I'm not changing any figures. If I'm sitting here leaning like this and my pen's open, it's like, hey, I'm still gonna be discounted, I'm cutting slapping prices. No, I've talked for fucking 2 hours, sit back, grab that fucking bottle of water they gave you,
Shut the fuck up.
sit back, and do the handcuff. Put your fucking hand over your mouth. It's hard for you to fucking talk if you're covering up your fucking mouth. Okay, sit back, and it's just a reminder. I do the handcuff like this, and nod the head, and let them go. And they'll start pointing at different things. Well, which one is this? Oh, that's the felt. I don't want that one. No. This is the one we're looking at, isn't it, honey? Yeah, we're probably looking at that. They're grabbing the fucking tie. Now you know what's going on with it. If they start talking about, oh, they can do 18 months no interest, I know it's a finance job, and they're looking for an interest free. Okay, well, I thought I saw it advertised with 60 months. The last company was offering 60. Whatever it is. Okay, they're going to start getting into it. The one who speaks first loses. Shut the fuck up. You might be there 10 minutes in complete silence. It's awkward. It's going to put you in a weird spot,
It's
dude.
awkward as
For everybody.
fuck. I hate it.
I don't know if you've been through it.
No, I do it all the time. I actually love doing it because it makes it super awkward for the customer, and I sit there and I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm not talking until you say something.
I sit back and I just look at their numbers.
Yeah.
And I do that, and I just open glare, and occasionally I'll peek at them to see what they're looking at. And I'll just sit there and stare at it.
Yeah, no, I'll sit at the table just.
I'm not looking at them going, come on, give me, tell me something. I'll just look at the numbers. So what now?
You wanna go grab my pillow and blanket? I'll be waiting.
You'll hear the clock fucking ticking on the wall and shit. They'll feel so fucking awkward, they'll start sweating. Okay? I started sweating, I don't feel awkward too. I mean, it's uncomfortable, dude, trust me. But it puts them in a spot, and anytime people are uncomfortable and they get nervous, they start running their mouth. That's what we want. Wow, that's expensive, man. Last guy I had in here was half of what your fucking cost is, but he didn't really show me too much about going on, but damn, that's a lot more than I was thinking about. Well, you do have payment options and stuff, but fuck, that's still a lot of money, man. I don't know if we can afford. Let them go, diarrhea of the mouth. Right? They're nervous, they're uncomfortable, so they start speaking. Again, going back to that scenario, if you've ever been arrested and they read you your Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Why do they fucking tell you that?
Because you
they
say
want you
stupid
to
shit
talk.
when you're worried.
You're nervous as fuck, and you're gonna hang yourself and tell them and incriminate your yourself completely.
Yeah.
That's why I got a record. Because I didn't shut the fuck up.
We just want your statement.
Seriously.
We just want your statement and we'll let you go. No,
No
I
statement.
want my lawyer.
As I was getting transported, the cop's like, so did you know you were driving drunk? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, fuck! As I'm staring at the camera too, I'm like, fuck! I was still drunk, dude.
You're nervous.
Seriously.
And you're in that, and that's what you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Will be.
They know that. And then as soon as they say it, do you understand your rights? Yes.
And then you
So
start
why'd you have to leave that? Did you know you were driving drunk?
I want to go.
They just keep asking you fucking question after question because you're nervous.
Yeah.
And you start running your mouth. That's the idea. You put that customer in that uncomfortable situation. Let them talk. They're gonna have diarrhea in the mouth and tell you what the real objection is. Let them go. Okay? Then, once we get them to give us a bunch of information, PAC. What does PAC stand for, Kaz?
I don't even know.
Oh.
Yeah, so-
Price.
Kapowie.
Close
Yeah,
is the
price,
C.
yeah.
K is, I don't remember.
No, I think it's
Kapowie.
No, I know the P and the A, or the C.
paper.
A is not attack. Well, I don't remember. Attention. I think it's attention.
No.
Present.
Price, analyze, close, keep.
Yeah, it's keep. I don't know.
Price,
What
Keep
A
is
is.
the K. We might change that to Kapow.
A is wrong. I don't know what A is,
A
but
is
it's close and keep and price.
A is amount.
Amount.
Price, amount, close, and keep. Yeah.
Price, amount, close, and keep. So the steps of it, once they give you that objection, you have to get the customer to understand price is what their holdup is. We mentioned at the beginning of this whole thing. When they say I need to think about it, what does they really need to think about? It's not the company, it's not the product, it's the price, right? So we gotta get them to understand that first before we move forward. If they're still hung up and they have to do research on your company and shit like that, you don't move forward yet. You can't do, right, you didn't do your job earlier, but you gotta battle that first before you start dropping. Okay, so get them the price, yes. I wanna see if I can find what you have for less money. Price. Now I can move on. The next thing is amount. How much less
Right.
are they looking to? That's the part sometimes we have a difficult time in this survey.
It's hard.
Get that number out of them. It's not they're wanting to spend 15
I don't
grand,
think I've ever gotten the amount.
okay? And that's
That's
huge.
a problem.
That's where you make your money, guys. Is getting that number. It's the 15 grand they want to spend versus the 20 that I'm at. It's not 15, it's not 20. It's the $5,000 difference. That's what they need to think about, because you already told me you thought it was going to be 15 grand. If I could give you everything that I discussed at the number you thought, there wouldn't be anything to think about anymore, because you already thought about 15. What you have to think about is spending the extra 5. Once I get you to understand it's about the extra 5,000, it's not about the 15, now I can start discounting. And when I'm discounting that $20,000 of getting in, that 5 grand now is 3,500. Now it's only 2,500.
Even though you know you
Now
can
it's
go.
1,700. That amount gets smaller and smaller, and I'm getting closer to that number. That line is drawn in the sand where I don't have to go to that number,
Light bulb.
but I can get it.
Light bulb.
What I've done a couple of different times is depending on what they want, whether if like they're thinking about preferred or whatever, and like they're still considering the lower options. So like let's say they're considering platinum, but they're still highly considering preferred because of the price. But they won't give me that amount number. What I like to do is if they won't give me that amount number, I'll try and bring platinum as close to preferred as possible, with obviously with still making it believable. And then that's if they really won't give you the amount of, and I've sold a lot like that.
This is what I want you guys to work on. The survey number 1, okay? Let's start really practicing this portion with the 4 prices. So we're 10K here. 18, 20, 40. Kind of spread out like you guys normally say.
It's relative.
Pretty fucking close.
So you got your 10 grand here, no discounts. You got this now is fucking 16, 8, no 16 what? 16.2. I took $1,800 off. This is gonna be 18,000, and this is gonna be 36,000. Taking 10% off, right across the board. So now I'm at these numbers, and they're like, okay. I need to think about it, I need to get other quotes, you know, you're my first guy, everything else, no problem, well, let me write you up an estimate. So you got something in writing for the customer. Let me ask you a question. Brian, instead of me writing up an estimate on all 4 of these packages, are there some that you're not considering? So let me ask you, are you considering putting the felt paper up there? Going to 3 feet of ice shield, is that something that meets your needs?
No.
No? Okay. Are you considering doing a metal roof? Is that something you really meet your needs and something you're looking to put on there?
No.
No? Okay. So let me ask you a question. You have the platinum and the preferred, so you're kind of contemplating between those two. What is it about the platinum that most turns you on? Why are you still considering that as an option?
Guarantee.
You like the guarantee? What else? It's all great.
I'm 11-1. Just gotta put it out there, man.
All right, so the guarantee, what else?
The extra ice and water.
6 feet, what else?
Killed the fantasy football right now.
Listen up. Synthetic, whatever it is. Okay? So, it sounds like everything you love about this product, or about this package, is the value it provides, correct?
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. You also are still considering going with the preferred, right, Julian?
Yes, sir.
What is it about the preferred that turns you on?
It's a pretty decent roof, but it's a little bit cheaper than platinum.
Okay, so you like the price this one is?
Yeah,
Okay, so you like the value this one provides and you like this price?
yeah.
Okay? Now, at the end of the day, are you getting your other estimates, or you need to think about it and everything else? Basically, ultimately, what you're looking for is all the value that this package provides to see how close you can get it to that price.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Because if you can get the value of this package at that price, it's pretty much a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
You'd be putting this on the schedule, correct?
Yeah.
Okay? So ultimately, at the end of the day, what's holding you up, what you need to think about is the $1,800 difference between your preferred roof and your platinum. So that $1,800 is what's holding us up.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me write you up an estimate, so therefore you got something in writing, so when you're thinking about it and everything, you got all your details and everything in line.
So,
Okay, now hold on. What I'm doing is I'm pulling it out, I'm eliminating this bullshit. So all their other competitors that have anything like that, if they pull out the quote and it has felt paper and shit like that, well, like you said, you ain't considering for me, you ain't considering for anybody. I don't care what price that is. You're not considering a metal roof. If you didn't show them a price on a metal roof, they may sit there in the back of their mind going, well, you know, I'm just curious what a metal roof might cost me. Okay, by you showing them that price, they're eliminating that on their own. You eliminated this, not me. Right?
right.
I'm asking you the questions, and then you're considering going between these two. All right, so now when you get it, I got price as the objection. What you're trying to accomplish is to see if you can find everything this package provides to see if you can save money. Yes, price. Now I'm pulling out a number. Okay, before I get into that, I'm probably going to ask, what were you hoping this project was going to cost you? See if I can draw that number out of the customer. Okay, well, 10 grand. Well, you see what you can get for around 10 grand. I might get that, okay? I don't know, man. That's why you're here. I have nothing to compare it to. Okay, that's where this comes into play. Now I'm pulling out an $1,800 number. You feel the preferred or platinum is better than the preferred, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
No brainer question. When it comes down to the close, I only want to ask questions I know the answer to. All right, I'm not going to ask them an open-ended question. You feel the platinum is better than the preferred, right? Of course they're going to say yes. You'd expect to pay more for the better product, wouldn't you? Yes. So now they're telling you they don't expect to find this product cheaper than this. They're not going to expect to find a 70-inch cheaper than the 55. If you drop it and you take your first drop and you drop it below that, and all of a sudden they're going, wait, something's fucked up here. Something don't make sense. How are you offering the platinum cheaper than the other? You'll get there, but it'll take you 4 drops.
Yeah.
If you have to.
So what I was gonna say is,
But draw the line in the sand. If you can get this product here, all the value here at this price, that's pretty much a no-brainer. That's what you're looking for, right?
yeah.
And if you can get this value to actually exceed the price, now you're fucking ahead of the game, right?
All right.
So ultimately, it's the $1,800 that's keeping you up. That's what you need to think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get that commitment. Now I might get into my advertising assistance. But I'm first going to take the pressure off. Let me write you up an estimate, so therefore you have all the details in writing, so you know what you got to think about later.
So you're talking about the estimate sheet where we write it out. Because that was my question. We're at the point where I've already given them a 4-box sheet. I think
That's mine.
Okay.
That's the mindset you guys got to have. I got to take this back to the office.
So I don't think
This
any
is
of
what I'm
us-
putting on. This is what I'm putting on record. That 4-box sheet. I'm in control. I'm not letting them rip that out of my hands.
I'm not trying to call out any of our sales reps.
No,
but
I know.
I don't
This is
think
why we're
any of
going
us use that. The
No
estimate
one uses
sheet
the survey.
with
No one uses
pages.
any of these tools. That's
Okay.
why we got to fucking slam it in your guys' heads.
So you're saying after we do the 4-box sheet, we single out the preferred and platinum, and we get to like a maybe it's 3,500 that's in between the platinum and the preferred, right?
Whatever
We
it
know
is.
we're working through it. At that point in time, you're not staying on the 4-box sheet. You're switching to the estimate sheet.
Yeah, or I'll pull out another 4-box because I got prices and X's and everything else,
Right.
and I'll rewrite it.
Okay.
The estimate sheet, though, it's a blank sheet where you have all these lines you're filling in stuff. The
Right.
idea behind that is to buy yourself time.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, now I'm writing it down. I'm like, okay, so the platinum, you know, the lifetime guarantee. What is it about that lifetime guarantee you like? Oh, let him go on. Now he's recommitting to it. You're writing up his estimate sheet.
Right.
He's diarrhea of the mouth now. He's just gonna tell you everything you wanna hear.
Right.
And he's committing to it. And then that's when I'll put my pen down, I'll do the little head scratch. It sounds like you love everything about the product and about what we're doing. If it's just about the $1,800, you know what? Let me just see something real quick before I go. Before I go, you're almost done filling out the estimate sheet. You're about to fucking leave. Before I go, then you just pick up the phone. Hey Dave, I'm with this customer, man. This is the situation. They love everything. Okay, I went through everything. I've been here quite a while now, everything. And we're kind of contemplating between the platinum and the preferred. They really love the platinum, but you know, they're leaning towards the preferred because it's, well, at the end of the day, it's $1,800 cheaper. Okay, well, this is my situation. Obviously, I know we're pushing the platinum and all that stuff. This guy's on the corner. This guy's the main entrance to the summer. Okay, I know we were running it last month and stuff. We were running the advertising assistance, and we hadn't, you know, carried anything over this month. But do we got anything left? Is there any chance that we might be able to save this guy some money or whatever? You know, like I said, he's the main entrance. His church down at the end of the street. All right. He loves it all. I hate to see him, you know, jump into the preferred just to save a couple bucks when it's really not the type of materials and stuff that he would prefer to put on his house. So that's why I'm trying to get into the platinum. But is there anything we could possibly do to maybe, you know, help this gentleman out and save him a couple bucks? Because, you know, these pictures are going to be great. You know, he's willing to do this, blah, 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 and you build it all up. And then when you drop it, you take $900 off. So now we're at fucking, what, 17.1.
Versus 16.2, I mean.
And now this is only $900. Right? No, man, I'm sorry. It's still more than what you got. What are you doing?
No, we're good. We're good. My math wasn't adding up.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Okay.
Because at first I was
I
saying
thought it was
1,000.
an 8. I thought that, I keep looking at that 16,200 and thinking it's an 8.
Yeah.
16,800.
Oh.
It does look, when you put that
I tried
initial
to-
1,800, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this math?
Usually pretty good, man. All right. So now you give him that pricing. I was like, it's still a little bit more than what I thought. You know, I still got to think about it. You are my first guy. Okay, the first drop ain't gonna get him.
Fuck you.
Okay, no problem. Let me finish writing you up your estimate. And you pull out your sheet and you keep writing it down. Okay? And then you get back onto the phone. As you're just writing it out, hey Dave, I just want to give you a heads up. Unfortunately, you know, this isn't gonna work for him or whatever. We're still a little ways apart. You know, now at the end of the day, we're only $900. Okay, and actually I skipped this a beat. We got him. He already objected to you again. I still got to think about it. We got to get him to recommit that the price is what he's objecting to still. Okay, there's nothing else that just, you know, some unforeseen thing that he didn't fucking tell you about. Get him to recommit. So it's not about the company, the product being good enough. It's still, you know, it's about the dollars making sense. So now it's about this $900. Get him to a new amount. That amount is getting lower and lower and lower. It's only $900. You should have a monthly payment show. It's only $12 extra a month to get the platinum. You know, a quarter a day. Whatever it fucking turns out to be, break it down to the ridiculous. So the $900 is only keeping us apart. Julian, I know you love everything about it. Remember $12?
12 bucks.
See, I'm on top of my game
Good
today.
shit, good shit.
All right. So Julian, it's about the $900, and that, I mean that's what's keeping us apart. Because like you said earlier, if we can get the platinum at the price of the preferred, it's pretty much a no-brainer.
Right.
So that $900 is still what's keeping us apart.
It's, yeah,
Well, I hate to lose your business over a couple $100.
right.
Okay.
Referrals.
Get referrals. You know, make that phone call back. And Dave, unfortunately, you know, we appreciate everything you can do, but they're not going to be able to take advantage of the advertising assistance. And this, I know you gave me a code. This is the code. If you want, you can release it or whatever. I know we got some other guys that are out there in the field today. But, you know, let them know that that is available. Because unfortunately, well, why can't they take it? What's the big deal? Well, it brought us down to this number and everything else. We're still $900 away. But, you know, $900 is $900. You know, I mean, he said earlier, if we could do the platinum at the preferred price, I mean, it'd be a no-brainer. I mean, unless you can do something on it, I mean, I know that they're willing to work with us on the advertising assistance, well, I'll tell you what, we got the price increases coming. Why don't you show them employee pricing or whatever, that'll get you pretty damn close, you know, whatever, and then you can figure out how it would be, but just be careful you don't go below that right away. I would probably take it down to
$700
to
off.
16,358. Just a little bit above it. You know, now we're only $158 off.
If you were a consumer, you wouldn't think that's a little odd, though.
Huh?
Every time I do that, it's like,
That's in your head.
extra.
That's in your head.
I don't know, I've had people like, you can't just do the same price at that point, man. You know,
It's like, no, I can't.
like $158. Come on.
$158 is $158.
$158 is what I'm making.
I tell you what, I'll pay the $158. Let's get it.
On plastic?
Pull out your debit card?
Yeah.
Listen, it'll be on me.
I'm gonna pay it in Bitcoin, alright?
You want
But
my
that's,
Dogecoin?
no, but what I'm getting at is you're putting up that fight.
Absolutely.
Let them come back and say, come on, $158, you're gonna lose my business over $158?
No.
Look, man, I'm just gonna cut, no, this is where it came to. Levi, Dave, this is the deal, man, we're $158 apart. He says we're gonna lose his business unless we can eat that $158. Well, if you want, you can take it out of your commission, Steve. How bad do you want the job?
All right, thanks, Levi. Yeah, fuck you, sir.
I mean, I'll put it this way, Steve, if anybody calls from the job site that you're putting out there, you're gonna get all the leads. So, I mean, if you wanna eat that out of what you get paid, that's up to you, I'll make that call up to you.
Sometimes I say that, I said, fuck it, I'll eat it, and I knock it off and I go to their price. Sometimes. Like,
Well,
once you
and
take
that's the thing,
steps,
but this is, it took them 3 drops to get to that point. If you drop it right to 138 above their number on the first initial drop,
Yeah.
then they're playing it, and then you throw in that and they're going, well, fuck, I should ask for less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's about them saying no, saying no, saying no, and then finally you break through that barrier and it's close enough, because most of the time their number's gonna come up. But we drop too much. And now their number doesn't come up.
Yeah.
And we drop way too, now we're below it and we're like, what the fuck just happened? And something isn't adding up right. It's not about the size of your discount.
It's about feeling like they won.
Beating your ass up, it's the story that goes behind the discount. Okay, if they feel it's rehearsed. Okay, again, sometimes you set it up too much and it does sound rehearsed.
Yeah.
You know, every customer's gotta be different, you gotta make them unique. You know, I know right now everybody's willing to put out a job sign, they're willing to do this, but this one's willing to do a video testimonial. Okay, I know we don't have too many of those, I know right now with the social media stuff, they're all over us to get video testimonials. Most people are camera shy, but these people, they do TikTok and all this other fucking crazy shit, they'll let their kid do it, they don't fucking care. You know, but whatever it is, build them up, make them special, and that's why they're getting a discount. We talked about it last week, and how many jobs do we sell because we fucked somebody up? Like, we stiffed their appointment, we overbooked, we couldn't be there, and we apologized, and we rescheduled it, the next day we go out there. That's the easiest appointment to sell because, hey, we inconvenience you. So I'm gonna give you special pricing because of it, okay? You know, we inconvenience you everything else. If you wanna save us the trip back out, go ahead and put it on the schedule today while I'm here, we'll give you employee pricing. If not, you got the regular pricing good, but I told you we'd make it up to you. And they feel like they're getting something special because we inconvenience them. You know, that's why people call all these fucking companies and they bitch and scream at, you know, what is it? It doesn't fucking matter. You're just calling up T-Mobile or whatever. You bitch and scream at. You're trying to get a credit to your fucking bill because they fucked you up.
Happens
They
every,
inconvenience
it works
you.
every time though.
Right.
It
Every
works
fucking
every
time.
fucking
I
time.
got fucked over on that.
And
My
you,
bill was
and you
$400.
feel like you're getting that deal though, right? When they discount it and they're like, I gotta discount it more. But you feel like you beat them up. That's what it's about. Okay? And then the discounts, guys, I got on there, the first time promotion, we know that. Are we using that?
Yeah.
Every time, yeah.
Okay?
10%.
So when they sit there and object to this, okay, the way I roll into the first time promotion, I know we only got a couple 12s, but the way I roll into this is once they say no, and I'm starting to write it up, okay, I always ask the question, when do you plan on getting this project done? Guys, when do you plan on getting this project done?
A couple weeks, hopefully. You know, I was hoping to get it done within the month or by the end of the year at least.
So you're serious about getting this project done?
Yeah.
See, most of the people we see, we're out giving out estimates that are good for a year, so they kind of budget and they'll call us back. But you're definitely gonna do it within the next month or so?
Absolutely.
Now I'm qualifying him. He's special. Okay? If he tells me, well, sometime within the next year, great, within the next, so you're serious about getting this project done? Alright? Most of the people I see, they're trying to budget for the next 4 or 5 years and find out what it's gonna cost them. So you're definitely gonna do it within the next year.
Right.
Right? They're always serious buyers, right? So, well, this is the thing. We got an optional promotion. You know what? Let me explain it to you first so you understand why we do it, what it's about, and you can determine if you like it or not. As a company, when I get into my story, we set 100 appointments a day. And each day, you know, we go through and I go through my whole spiel. You guys familiar with that? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I know what it is. I'll get into it. I know we're getting late on time. But then I'll go through it and I'll say, okay, so if you, since you are serious about getting this done, you want to go ahead and put it together with us while we're out here today, I can do it for this. And then I'll drop it that 10%, write it down, refigure out the monthly payment, and shut the fuck up. And that's pretty much at the point where you're asking for their business. Like, this is a today and today only thing, okay? Let me know yes or no, because this is a year price. This is good for the season. This is today. You gotta take them through that transition. And now they see the today price, and now they're gonna tell you yes or no. Because if they're seeing this pricing here, they're like, oh, okay, well, I got a couple more guys coming out. I'm gonna have my decision made up by next week. Okay, you said it's good for the season, so I'm good, which is fine, because you're not pressuring them. Oh, so you're serious about getting the project done. Qualifying them, well, we do have this optional promotion. And no, I still can't do anything today. You know, I understand, I appreciate that extra, promo and stuff like that, but I gotta get I gotta do my due diligence. I gotta have these other guys come up. But at least they know that there's an offer out on the table that's for today. Okay? Find out, now you hammer them down, get prices, why you gotta get your 3 estimates, to find something comparable for less. How much less? You feel that this is better than that package?
So would you pull out the first time promo after all that?
I wouldn't, this would be my 10% seasonal sale to bring them here. And when I would sit on that for a minute, and see what they're, I gotta get other estimates, you're my first guy, blah, 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 then I would use the 10% to get me to here, the first time promo. That's how I would do that.
First time promo first, and then you go into advertising.
Could you, before you do the first time
The
promo,
way that I'm thinking about it, the reason I asked that is because when I'm looking at these numbers, if I did the seasonal promo, first time promo, now I'm $100 away from preferred. But now when I go into advertising, it's
Yeah, these-
now I'm way lower.
those
I
numbers are
know,
a
because
little.
I'm just making these numbers up to kind of,
Okay.
yeah, you won't be there yet.
All right.
You won't be there yet. But yeah, I'll do the 10% seasonal, then the 10% first time promo.
It depends.
And then,
Okay?
and then,
And now you're still 12, 15% over par.
that's when you use the double stack.
Right.
I got some first time promo, and if you have to get the advertising assistants, hey, look, I told you this first time promo is good for today, but we can double stack these deals.
We're gonna
right
double
now.
dip.
Yeah, double
And so
dip.
now, once you throw out, listen up, once you throw out that first time promo, every discount you go on top of that piggybacks it. So not only are they potentially losing the advertising assistance, but they're also losing the 10% first time promo.
Right.
Now you call me back next week, there is a chance, and this is legit, there's a chance that their advertising assistant still may be there. You may have explained the advertising, well, you're on the main street, we're gonna get so much more traffic coming through. Well, how is that gonna change between this week and next week?
Yeah, that's what I would get. Reduction with, oh, you're gonna pull the advertising? I'm still okay with advertising 2 weeks from now, you know?
So the way you set that up as well, I get that, but you're gonna lose the first time promo. We're double dipping them. So if you didn't get the urgency across on something like that, but also too, when you explain your advertising assistance, you gotta explain that there's limited funds.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I say, oh, there's only 1 left, or there's 2 left. You gotta say, look, we have a limited advertising budget. Okay, make sure, this is what we're marketing and using. The problem is we're not spending what we had allocated for advertising this month on TV and the billboards and stuff, because the price is through the roof right now because of all of the, the holiday season's coming up. But there's only so much funds. So what we figured out is that if we could disperse these funds, okay, in our advertising assistance program, and basically co-pay a portion of our customer's job from our advertising budget, okay, not only are we getting the advertising out, which in our mindset is it's more valuable doing it this way because we're making you or whoever neighborhood referral versus just a beautiful TV commercial. So our customers benefit from us doing that way. We benefit more. We get more calls from it that way. But basically, your job is 18 grand, no matter how you cut it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 1,000 of your 18 from my advertising budget. Okay, so your out-of-pocket expense is only 17 grand. However, your job is still worth 18,000.
Yeah.
It's just out of our advertising. But once that advertising money's gone, it's gone. I understand you're on a main road and I want your job. Trust me. But if we've already spent all our money, I got no money to co-pay a portion of your job. Does that make sense? Right now, we do have some funds that are available. Okay, and that's why I'm willing. And then if they say no, that's even more of you to go back and fight for them. I hate to see you lose out, number one, on the advertising promo. And I would hate for my competitor sign to be in the line. Dave, I need this job. Because if they call me back next week, I get it. We might still have the advertising, but if it's not there, we're fucked. So what can we do? Sharpen your pencil more, man. Can we do like employee pricing or something here just to make it a no-brainer for them? And now you're begging them because you want that job sign on the main road. I tell you what, if they can save us the trip back out, I'll do employee pricing. It's got to be today though, because pricing's going up tomorrow. Blah blah blah. We'll get into that, and then you do the one drop. But none of this matters. You got to have that. You got to draw a line in the sand. Cash, you paying attention, man?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on this phone the whole time. You got to pay attention. I know you got a good deal yesterday, but come on, man.
No, I'm paying some bills. I'm dealing with some shit at home too. So.
I get it. I get it. But again, the shit at home doesn't seem as bad when you go out and make $2 grand a day.
No, you're not wrong, dude. That bullshit that was happening yesterday didn't fucking matter when I signed that contract and brought $700 home in deposit. So.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So guys, work on this today. It's not, you ain't gonna get it in one shot. You gotta practice it. Start working it down. Any product, make sure you're doing the 4 prices. Eliminate the low, eliminate the high. work on the two in between function, you can work it down, but get that number out of the guy. That's them drawing the line in the sand. This is what I was expecting it to cost, work that shit down. You know, keep it up. You guys are doing good out there. You're working the phones. Try not to seem so rehearsed, you know, coming through. Give more energy back into it like it's your first fucking time ever and you're putting on the show.
We need to go over installation. Just have to put it out there.
Yeah.
Joe did shit me. Did he tell you?
Hmm?
Did he?
No.
No.
Installation.
I sold an installation job and the guy couldn't even crawl in the attic. He got stuck like 4 times.
The installer?
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, why is that our problem?
But okay, so the reason that I'm saying this is Joe said, because I never went through installation training. I need to know how the whole process goes.
Yeah. No,
So we need to
so
go
you-
over it. I think all
I don't
of us
really know. I mean,
should
I
at
sold a
least
few
have
of
a
them, but I just
refresher.
don't know.
Because
I don't even know how they put the
this
insulation
attic
in that
space,
bitch.
I mean, I'm a small dude. You know, I crawled in the attic. I mean, yeah, it was a really tight fit, but it was just a hassle. So, and that fucks me up, you know. And
So if the attic access is too small, we just can't.
if you physically can't crawl in there,
I
we
can
can't
physically
go-
crawl in every
I
attic
didn't know
access
this.
that possibly.
The reason I
fucking
sold
exists.
it is because I thought in order to do blow me installation, we just throw a tube up there
That's
and
what I thought.
kind of just direct it.
That's what
But
I
no.
You gotta get up
You have
there,
to
you gotta
walk
put in all
around.
the baffles.
Yeah, see,
You gotta put in
apparently-
the measure sticks. and
We're
stuff.
Apparently, the
Sounding
guy
baffles.
has to crawl in each section,
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't know this.
I just
They got army crawl.
That's
So,
what I fucked up. I was
something-
like, I didn't know.
So we
I was
charge
like,
for boards at that point, right?
What's that?
I think I've had something similar where they wanted to charge for
Boards
maybe,
agreement?
yeah, to put like a boarded walkway so they could army crawl it or something like that. Or do we just put it in there and then remove it as we take it out? I don't
I
know.
have
It's
no
like,
I was just saying, like,
but you have to charge
so
for the labor for that.
for that installation lead I just went on, because I actually had to call him back after this meeting because he wants me to come back out there and sign him. But I think we're gonna do it tomorrow. But like that, he had plenty of insulation, or not plenty of insulation, like plenty of attic space to get up there. But it was like, I mean, it is kind of a small access. So does that just mean?
No, the access doesn't matter. If you could stand up in the attic, you're good. But mine,
Even if you can't,
mine, like you couldn't even stand
That's
up
what
on
I'm
your
saying.
knees.
Like, I
in the
mean,
attic.
when I was in the attic, I was like this, walking around. Like,
Yeah, you should be.
If I were
You
you,
could take some pictures of it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and it's, again, that's very few and far between, but yeah, we gotta go through some installation.
This was a
I would
Yeah.
pebble stone rock roof.
I would treat
Like it was an
insulation
industrial
cement.
like pea stone
Yeah.
rock roof.
I hate
Always,
those.
always over measure.
Stupid.
oh, I always
Always,
overmeasure
because
insulation.
it'll always be more than what you think.
Yeah.
Because like whenever you're measuring like the exterior perimeter of the house, you still have like maybe a foot or two before it actually gets to your attic space. I just do the whole.
Yeah,
whole
I
perimeter.
measure usually about 6 inches over
That's
the
good. No,
overhang.
I used to do from the foundation wall.
Yeah, no, I do it
You
from
know.
the soft.
I go from the edge of the
You
overhang.
know what
and
it
pass
is?
somewhere.
What I like to do is I Zillow
I'm gonna go turn this
square
one.
footage.
Yeah.
Something
And then
I wanted to
subtract.
tell you guys is,
They
I
broke it out,
sold,
but they
I
did
sold a
right in
concrete
the-
job, and it was like 2 months
No, no,
ago.
no.
Slim goes there the day before we're about to install, and he just now tells me, I sold it, it's on a main road, right? I didn't know that if a house is on a main road, that's technically access issues, because there's nowhere to park. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
For
it's-
cement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Slim called me a day before he's supposed to install, screaming at me. I'm like, well, I've never been talked to about this job. I didn't know that, like, since you can't park your concrete trucks on the road without cones, they have to talk to the city, get a special
And
permit.
they had to get a permit
Do all
to
this
park
shit.
on the
Yeah,
road.
we're
Like-
adding that to our price sheet.
Okay, cool. Because it's like
Okay.
$5,000 worth of shit that I
So
didn't
if
know
we-
about,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
canceling out the job. And
So
it's
if
a
we
day
have to
before
pull
the
like
job.
extra permits and shit, that's all gonna be added in our price sheet.
And I talked to some, I'm like, I get that it's my fault for not realizing that's an access issue, but it's also sold 2 months ago. It's a day before you're about to install it. I should have been told about this,
That's what I'm saying.
well, like over a month ago. So I
There's a lot of minimal follow up
Shit.
after we sell
Because
the
it's not even
jobs.
about the money. It's about the fact that this homeowner thinks his concrete's being installed
And
tomorrow.
now it's not.
And now you're gonna have to try and bump him $6,000 instead of a month ago. It was brought to my attention. I'm the one that goes and gets more money from him because he knows who I am, and it's a month before install.
And I already
have
told him
more.
that we weren't gonna charge.
Like,
any
you know what I'm
extra.
saying?
Yeah, no,
It's a lot
Guys-
different.
Guys, concrete's new, we're working out the bugs. We
Okay.
gotta deal with them.
no, yeah.
Yeah, fucking deal.
We
with
got a
it.
lot of them ironed out, we're still gonna run into some.
Cool.
I mean, we've been doing roofing for 20-some years, we got that pretty much
Roofing's
figured out.
fire. Roofing's easy.
Siding, windows, we've been working on, trying to perfect that, get that better, so, I mean, some of it we got to do as we're learning. Alright, these are issued, guys. Let me see if checks are ready.
Please,
Oh,
please,
nice,
fucking
nice.
please, bro. I would love to have my check by Friday for fucking once.
Fuck is with this printer? Jesus Christ.
Just giving you lines in your shit.
Yeah, man, look at this shit. It's all
Fuck
kinds
you,
of different
Brian.
ways. I got all the
Hey,
colors, man.
Magenta, blue.
We got 6:30 for sighting.
I do
Yeah, that's the one,
Yes, you do.
he's already got the
It's
hover.
you and I.
Oh, you're coming with me?
3 and 6:30.
Fuck you, don't come with me. Fuck you, get off my lead. I've been there twice already without you. What the fuck are you coming with?
That's what I was asking you what was going on with that one.
The 6:30? Then fuck you too. I don't want
He's like,
I'm
okay.
just saying, I've been there twice without you. I don't need you.
Me too. Is this the one that I priced out with you at Scramblers?
Yeah.
Oh, you can get fucked. I gave you the prices for
Cass,
that.
you started to go to Scramblers more?
Fuck yeah, I
That
go
place
there. I go there
That
hard.
was the first time you've been.
It's Roseville,
There's one
right
in
out there.
St. Clair Shores, Roseville,
Roseville,
at
right?
13.
Right.
and-
When I tell you, I will never in my entire life go to a different breakfast place.
Dude,
It's the
I'm
only
telling
place
you,
I'll ever
And it's
go
cheap,
without-
dude. You
You
can
can
get
have breakfast next Saturday at the other place, so you'll be
I'm going to
You
Scramblers.
can get 3
buy a
eggs
cup
and
of
4
coffee,
pieces
they
of toast
bring you
with
all
sauce.
the
You
sauce.
must be making too much money, man. I got 2 of them for you. You gotta pick up your check from last week.
Yeah, you did. You left it in there.
I
I
got
was
I
gonna
got
grab
none
it
of my
for you,
fronts.
but I never grabbed it
Is
because I
that-
didn't text
I
you.
didn't
I could've
email you, but I didn't get any of my front ends.
It was the Thanksgiving
Is it
check.
on the sheet? Is it just
Oh.
Yeah, when we got
Just
checks on Wednesday instead of Thursday.
Oh, yeah,
What,
yeah.
what fronts are you looking at?
No I'm kidding, you can come on over.
I can pay rent.
Yeah,
really?
I
can pay rent. I can pay rent.
That I had.
No, I get it.
I get half my
It's
check
my
stolen
fault. I
from
didn't
me.
send
Let's
you
go.
anything, but. Let me see.
I didn't even realize you were on those leaves. Well, fuck, I guess you can come with me.
No, fuck you.
Alright, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
It's a big job, dude. I don't
I
like
didn't
it.
know if you could price, that's why I was asking this morning, I didn't know if you could price
Oh,
with
yeah.
everything.
I helped
Yeah.
him out.
Yeah, he helped me price everything out, except the rotted
It's a
wood.
$40,000
Yeah,
price
that's
tag. You don't want to split that shit with you.
No.
Okay, I just knew you went out there to the
Hey,
cover, so that's why I figured.
Hey,
it
you
was
know
still
what?
open.
You know what? We're fine. I won't go with you. Just give me 1%.
I'll give you some of the commission since you
1%
price it. I'll give you some of it.
Let's see what that front end.
Maybe 23%
It's
whatever
not
I make.
everywhere.
Tammy.
Yes.
How's she going, eh?
How's she going, eh?
How's she going, man?
Fuck Biden. Where did my check just go? Oh,
See, fuck Biden.
fuck Biden, too. So fuck Biden.
Man.
Do I, yeah.
You got your draw payback.
Oh shit, dude, my drop payback was only $120. Ain't bad. I'll take it.
Yeah, I got a couple front ends that I did not get.
I think you stole mine. I think that was
No,
mine.
that's definitely mine. Oh, you have
Yeah,
draw?
it's mine.
I don't even know who that is, but thank you.
My payback balance is 1,000. That's not bad.
I guess I'll wait for him.
Oh, I thought I was way over on deductions, bro. I'm only 1,000. I thought I was like 2,500 in paybacks.
For draw?
Yeah.
I had to.
Dude, I don't want to hear. At one point, I was almost at 3,000.
No, I was. I literally
I'm at
was.
768.
On my last check, I was like 2,200 on paybacks.
Last week I had to take my first draw in over a year.
Oh wait.
Yeah. That's
You-
that's where I'm
Oh
getting-
no, I guess my draw payback balance is 1,700. That's fucking nice.
Guys,
okay,
I
Dave.
wouldn't be too concerned with those yet, because you guys, obviously with like your siding jobs and things,
Yeah, the
you
back
got
ends and shit.
the back ends.
But still, I mean, it's still money.
I had my original.
Yeah, it's still
my-
$1,000.
Okay, so I got a couple of them.
My original draw, Steve, with Dave, like I told you, like over a year ago, he was taking like 25, 35 bucks out of my shop
Dude,
a week.
They're taking.
That's why-
Carla was like, I need, we need the rest of the straw back now, and he's like,
He's like, fuck you.
yeah. So I mean,
Okay,
it's
so I got
like,
that
don't
one
know.
to worry.
That's why I've been trying to only do $500
I got-
like on my checks if I need a draw. Because if I need 750, dude, that extra
Give it
250
right down
fucking
for you.
adds up.
Well, that's why Dave's like, how much money you need? I said 800, and he gives me 1,000. I'm like,
Yeah, but I can survive off
I'll take
500.
that.
It's just paycheck
and that's
to
the thing,
paycheck.
I mean, I'm saying, don't feel bad about it, because we know you got money coming on the back. And just because it's 4 months out, it sucks, I mean, it's not, usually the turnaround should be a lot quicker, it's just unfortunately it's not, and
It's that season, man.
yeah, I mean, roofs, we get a little bit, that's why gutters and gutter guards installation, usually a month turnaround, something like that, we can get quicker, but you get into siding and windows, man, it's gonna be delayed. Like,
So
you got paid
when-
on a couple front ends for windows today, or this week.
yeah.
Were they front ends or no, back ends?
No, I know I got a front end.
So once the lead is set to
180.
complete is when we should get paid back end, right?
When they lead?
Yeah, it's like, or not on the lead, but like on Salesforce, when
I
it
got
says
4.
that it's complete, That's when it's back
Not
in the-
complete, cashed out.
cashed out. Okay.
That means it's gone through payroll review, everything else. If it says payroll review, that means it's on my desk where I've approved it. I'm just giving it to Levi for the final, but if it says, if
It says complete, that means it's installed and going through.
install complete, that means I should get it any day.
Okay.
They're just waiting for the
That's our thought.
final, come through.
So the two for sure that should be on this check is Keiko's and Radovic. April and the other one, they should be on there, but there might be something, it might, I don't know. But Keiko's
There's
is,
something with the ball, I can't remember offhand, but.
yeah, I don't know.
Ball.
I don't know. Hey,
Ball.
Ball.
We
Is
were-
that-
I was on that one too.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at both of them.
I was wondering when we were
Oh,
gonna get paid
Duval,
on
was that garage? in Mount
On
Clemens?
garage, yeah.
No, siding on garage.
Oh, then never mind, I don't remember.
Maybe
Maybe.
it was siding and trim or something.
It was siding and we're boarding up the windows, is that the one?
Oh,
Yeah. Now I remember.
That one should be good, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I fucked up the measurements like hardcore, but it's just a garage, so. But yeah, Radovic should
That's
be on there.
where two guys make sure on your condition sheet should put in the breakdown of what.
Yeah.
Because if there is
Shots
something.
fired, Dave.
No, I mean, it's just, I get it. I
yeah,
think that was one of the things, I didn't have anything, so we're reviewing that one.
I know one
My
of
next commission
one of
sheet
those
that I wanna
four.
fill out, I kinda
I
go
just
over
thought
it
about
again.
this. One of those four might not have a commission sheet. Because there was one, I can't remember what file I turned in, but one of them I know I forgot a commission sheet.
Do you know if he's coming in today? Do you know if Matt's coming in today?
Don't know.
Don't know. Shit. Tobias. Oh.
There's one with,
Beauty.
the software that's,
It's Radovic.
no, that's what I'm looking
Scotty figured it out.
Oh, did
It's
he?
ready to
Okay.
order now, so.
Okay. That's why we were
Yeah,
trying
because
to.
it
get
was
to
on hold, and then now that it's ready to order, I'm like, I should get paid on it at
Okay,
least.
yep, so that one will be there. What was the other one, Cacao?
Keiko's should, me and Miko sold that on.
Cacao!
Actually, no, I sold that, Miko's not on it.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Miko ate all that shit.
Last month, a lot of
I
people sell
love
a shit
Miko,
with
but
Miko.
I need help with this deck. You might as well take Miko out
Me and
the
Miko
league,
split volumes
because
up there, dude.
this deck that I went and pitched, they fucking laughed at me.
Yep.
Like I said $148,000 and the guy's like, okay, what am I getting with it? And I'm like, I can't tell you.
So, all right, what are you pricing your decks at? Are you pricing them
I
on the
got-
price sheet,
No, I got it straight from Joe.
55 to 90
It's 95 a square foot.
for new?
That's what I priced out.
For new? Okay. He told you
The
90?
problem that I'm having with this one is this guy wants, it's a 900 square foot deck.
Uh-huh.
400 square foot of it's gonna be enclosed. So we have to build a roof and everything. But the guy was like, I'm planning on doing heated tile floors inside that enclosed section, so I don't need ducts back in the enclosed section. So I was like, that's a good fucking point. I'm like, this is exactly, I straight up told the guy, I was like, I'm going to get everything broken down for you. I'm gonna get a list of everything you want and everything we're gonna do. But this is kind of the problem that I'm having right now. I was like, I straight up told the guy, I said, I had 2 people help me with this job, and this is what they told me to present to you. Straight up. I said, this is a big job, so, in order for me to do this in a timely manner, at least I came up with a fair price, at least. But he's like, well, there's so much other shit that goes into it. If I'm doing a full rebuild of a deck, I want the shit I want, so I don't have to hire 7 other contractors to do this. And I was like, that's, let me work on it.
If you have any questions about that,
I
I
need
might be able to answer,
need
let me know, because I've done a good bit of.
Because what do
deck
we,
stuff.
for that
Joe
enclosed.
wouldn't mind going out with you on that too.
Yeah, I'd have him actually, I know, but you should,
We went on one with Julian, they sold it for like 55 grand or something.
This one is a guaranteed sell. We just gotta make sure that everything is set in stone.
I would take him,
That's it.
I would take Joe.
He is-
If there's more of a build out,
He
somebody
said,
Joe out
he
there.
said, I'm willing to write you a $150,000 check. He's like, but I'm not gonna do it if I don't know what I'm getting. And because the one question he asked, the very first question was, what are the supports gonna be? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I was in the same boat as you, Brian.
I'll talk with
I was
him
dying.
tomorrow.
And I was pissed, because I went out there and I'm asking
Oh,
for
were you the one that was in there?
$148,000.
Yeah.
I was.
And the guy said,
all the fucking bathrooms are closed.
that day when I pitched him the deck, he gave me a $12,000 check for his siding.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I know this guy wants it.
I got
And
siding
it's a
on
big
my
fucking
apartment,
job, man.
What area? What's the area?
Clarkston.
No, I got it.
Giant house, 4,200 square foot. This guy, like I said, he's an executive for Cadillac, and he travels to Germany and fucking France and all these other places,
For
like
what?
every other week for auto. He's like a high class executive for Cadillac.
Nice. I was fucking over the weekend.
You were fucking over the weekend?
Nice.
Congrats. You did
Me
it,
too, man.
You got
Me
pumped?
too.
But no, so
Actually,
this last weekend or whatever, my sister's in college and she's going through it like with her classes and shit, right?
The hot one?
Huh? You're. What's that?
That's funny. The ugly one.
He showed me a
I only
picture
got
one
one.
time of his sister, and I'm like, damn. He's like, you motherfucker.
Kill you.
Does she look anything like you? Don't answer that.
Show him a picture of your sister, dude.
She is a model though.
Is she actually a model?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You got a fiance and you got a wife, so fuck both of you.
Hey,
you all
man.
kill you.
Hey,
Older
man.
sister? No, younger.
How old are you?
21.
Steve, you're engaged?
How old's your sister?
Oh, when'd you get engaged?
On her birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had did it yet because you showed me.
That's funny, 'cause I got
and like
engaged
2
on
days
purpose.
later, someone told me it happened. I was like,
No,
I don't know if I should go
I had
and
this- I had
congratulate
this
her.
all planned out.
Said fiance, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Um,
I was scared to
oh,
congratulate.
she's not even here. She's
You're
Oh.
cheap too, huh?
cheap.
Yeah, you're cheap too.
Oh.
You proposed to her on her birthday as like a birthday gift.
No, I gave.
A two for one.
No. The
No,
birthday
he
present
spent-
I gave her was $600.
Yeah,
a fucking
facts.
Pandora bracelet. So.
Oh, I was
I
gonna
went
say
to
you
buy
gave
a-
her $600.
No,
Yeah,
no,
she
I
said yes.
got her a Pandora bracelet for her birthday to cover up the proposal
Awesome.
because I was planning on doing it this month when it starts snowing in Frankenmuth.
I didn't wanna
I was
congratulate
gonna
her.
do like a whole thing, but it's just at this point I was like, let's just do it. I've been waiting too long. Now we're gonna plan engagement photos.
Where'd you do
Don't
it?
do
So we're gonna kind of stage it.
Where'd you
you
do
know?
it?
Don't do what I did.
I did it at home.
Nice.
Just made it sentimental.
Simple. If it was just you two, which is cool.
Steve.
I suck with the whole fucking sappy shit though. So like I'm like, you know,
Me too.
me
Hey,
doing
bitch.
a public,
you, bitch. Here's your
pretty much.
No,
me doing a public proposal, I feel like it just throw off the whole vibe. In my
You can do it
opinion. So I was just
public,
like,
but then again,
Don't
private,
do what I
like.
did.
what's that?
I proposed to Beth, and then within 2 months I impregnated her.
Oh damn.
So yeah, don't
Don't
do that.
fucking wish that upon me.
Don't do it.
Because then you got a whole.
Well, because I was
other
like, it's cool, man. We're getting married. I'm going, you know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
cool.
I don't need to pull out.
You're married now, right?
No going back.
No going back now.
That's great.
Did that postpone the wedding, or did you already have it planned?
No, it sped
It
it
sped it
up.
up.
Oh, it sped it
Oh,
up.
so you did it right away.
We were
Yeah,
gonna
good job.
go do a nicer wedding, and we just ended up getting married on the beach. I think I spent like $1,200 on the whole
That's
thing.
what I want to do, man.
And what I was saying about
Probably
public,
smarter.
about public
Yeah.
proposals is like
My mom catered.
you can be public and then also private. Like my brother took her to Chicago, and then they were just on this pier, but it was only them two because it was like 9 o'clock at night and it was dark outside.
it all goes back to the rehearsal thing, you know. If I do a public proposal, it's just gonna seem so fake.
Fair enough. I feel what you're saying.
You know, we're gonna walk down
'Cause
this
you're gonna
nice
rehearse
bridge
it.
covered in snow
Right.
and Frankenmuth. She knows it's coming.
Yeah.
You know.
On her birthday, after you already give her a Pandora, she had no.
She had no
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
idea.
Was she
Yeah,
crying?
another
Was she,
tip.
was she crying?
Another
No,
tip
she wasn't
is don't
crying.
do the
Fair
bachelor
enough.
party
It was
the day
more
before
or
the
less
wedding.
like.
I'm worried. I'm
Like,
crying.
at first she's like, "Are you even asking
my
me
sister's
this right
like,
now?" She's like,
oh my
"Of course
God.
not."
We had a great fucking time.
I fell asleep. We had a sunrise wedding. I fell asleep
So
at
did my
like
sister.
4:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
Damn.
and I was late.
To your own wedding.
I was late to my own wedding, and
Well
I was
played.
still drunk.
Well played.
Didn't even
Nice.
shower.
Dude, our pastor,
It was so
the pastor for my
I
sister's
never
wedding.
drank.
Well, you were on the lake anyways. You should go
My
jump in the lake.
brother-in-law took me to a bar, and then we ended up like we left the bar at 2 o'clock when they closed. We ended up going to the beach and smoking weed till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
And what time was your wedding at?
Those are the best.
It was at like 6:30.
In the morning.
Yeah, I didn't get to bed until I didn't get back till
That's a good way to clear the nerves the night before.
Passed out,
Don't
they
even
woke me
think
up
about it.
dragging out of bed. I took their
Damn.
keys, so they had to walk.
What beach is this at? Not in Michigan, right?
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, you went to Carolina?
I lived
They were
there at
living
the time.
there.
Oh, you were
Still
living
living
there.
there.
Yeah, that's a fucking perfect place to
Right,
name for a
right.
wedding, I guess.
Right.
I want to do
I
a
did
destination wedding
everything
so
wrong.
bad.
Everything wrong.
And we're still married,
And she
so
still
who
said
cares?
yes.
Dude, she's still
She's like, I don't know, man.
she didn't file for a prenup.
Oh,
My
there's
baby's
like
gonna be
nothing
on
free.
her fucking time about it. Secretary of State will give me my new
30
idea.
paragraph
So,
paper due.
because they
It's a
were over
research
here, we told
paper.
her.
Due in like 6 days.
I was just
nothing
texting
done
too.
on it
Okay.
whatsoever.
That used to be my favorite.
I love writing.
No,
it was my favorite subject.
No, in school, I used to love. I knew I could always get it done in time.
Also, just waiting and then.
I
and
always
then
used to
hammering it.
procrastinate for like until I had 2 days left, and then I would just pound it the fuck
Like,
out.
fuck it, I don't need to do anything these next 2 days.
Exactly.
I got to experience the whole 3 weeks it was due, so.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So what's going on with that, Dave? How do you want to handle all those?
I'm inquiring about it.
Oh,
Fuck you, Steve, let me handle it.
inquiring. Thought you inquire, or thought you are the inquiree.
The
Inquire
inquiry.
where the file's at. Who's got it, why it's not.
Inquiry, that's
But it's already ready to order and stuff. Isn't that all the
Which one's ready to work?
Redovic? Keiko's?
We're doing with someone with the suffix. Right, yeah, we just.
You want me to
got
talk to Scotty about it, or?
No, there's nothing to talk to him about now. If he's on it, he's got it, I'll get that on my desk soon.
Okay.
Because she's going through now.
Okay. Keikos?
Okay, guys.
Keikos?
Why?
Actually,
Guys. Think we should go get breakfast.
yeah, you wanna go scramble?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I fucking do. I gotta go cash my check first, cause I gotta pay my rent today.
Oh, okay, it says Keiko's is in processing, but that doesn't seem right since I sold it. Like
You know, that's why she said she's starting that one now.
Who was that, Crystal? Oh, Katie. I just
No,
know
Steph.
Crystal's been over
Yeah, that's
like
fucking good.
it's stressed out from my jobs
I was
lately.
fucking with Brian.
She had that one in Mount Clemens, the lady's calling her and telling her that everything's fucking wrong.
In his pocket. You're so mean. It's in his pocket. I'll find it. Yeah. Dude, I also found out, because my bank now, because my address is different on my license than it is on my checks, because I moved, and Secretary of State hasn't allowed me to get a new license yet, because I'm about to turn 21. So I went to my bank to try and cash my check, and they were like, the address is different, we can't cash it. And I was like, that's bullshit, it's my government name, this is my government ID, cash my fucking check.
Right.
And I was like, I had bills to pay, and they were like, they said some bullshit, and I was like, okay, so I guess my Comerica Bank credit card that I have through you guys also isn't gonna get paid since you don't want to cash my fucking check. And they were like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So I literally had to go to Chase Bank and get my check cashed, and they
By a different bank that you don't even bank through?
so I talked to them, and they were like, well, if you want to cash it, you have to go to the provider of the check, which is Chase Bank. That's where we have our account through at Rock Solid.
That's stupid.
So I went to Chase Bank, and they were like, yeah, we can do that for you, but we have to take $10 out of your paycheck for a processing fee. I was like, bro, so I'm getting fucked either way.
So, only because you don't have your license is expired?
Exactly.
Mine's expired
It's not even
too.
expired. It's not even that my license is expired. It's that the address on my check is different than the address on my ID.
Do you have a debit card?
Yeah. And I have a credit card
That's all that matters.
through both the banks.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, tell
You
me
have a
about
deb-
it. They
you
don't
have a
give a
debit
shit. Chase said the same thing. Chase said as long as you have an account, you could have $0 in that account. You should be able to deposit and cash your check.
Well, if you have a debit card, what bank?
Comerica.
Wait, your
So you
license
went-
is expired?
No,
You went to
it's just different.
Hold on,
addresses.
so you went to
I
Comerica.
still have my 50572 address.
Okay. You went to Comerica to cash the check.
Yes.
Instead
Well, I
of
went to
Could
less
you
cash.
just went right to the ATM and put it in, deposit it in your?
The thing about doing that is that if I don't physically give them a deposit slip with less cash, I won't get the cash deposited instantly into my account. It'll take 2 or 3 days, business
Even
days.
if you go through an ATM onto your
Yes.
debit card into your
Yeah.
checking account?
And even if I mobile deposit,
Huntington
it,
be pretty quick with it, like
I know.
a day.
dude, it used to be like that when Comerica used to be like that. I used to be able to make a mobile deposit, and by the end of the day, my mobile deposit
Yeah.
would be done. And now, bro, they just fuck with me. So I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm about to go open a Chase account.
No, go to a credit union,
I'm about to.
like right now.
I just
I'm
have.
switching over to a credit union this
I have
month.
credit bills I have to pay off.
The only reason I'm doing it though is because of my car. I want to get a refi through a credit union,
Yeah.
get some better rates or whatever going on. And then credit unions are just better in general.
Did you finance your Equinox?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's
Me
not
and
bad.
my girlfriend are thinking about financing a Kia right now.
Kia?
Kias are nice.
Kia Forte, bro.
So,
35 miles per
so
gallon
the
average.
Kia Forte GT line,
They're nice as fuck.
nice. They're
No,
nice.
so the Kia Forte GT is the car that I rented when I went to Florida.
We were talking
Nice
about
as
that, cost versus price thing. That's what I'm gonna use as my old Equinox. Cause that's what I did. I went to a dealership and I went with the low price vehicle. Within a month, it was burning oil. It was leaking and burning oil. My fuel pump popped off of it. Just problem after problem.
Used.
Yeah,
Minchie's
that is also. I feel like that's also
Used
kind of a
car.
thing.
Yeah, that's
Minchie hooked
I
me
feel like
up,
that's
boss.
kind of also a thing you could
I
do.
got a good ass
Right
price
from,
on 4 new tires, 80,000 mile tires.
Ford.
all of them
Which
rotated and
fuck,
balanced and a new
Suburban
tire
Chevy.
pressure sensor
It was
for
Chevy.
700 flat.
Chevy box.
From a Ford dealer.
Nice.
That's
That's
why.
not
Yeah,
bad.
Suburban Ford.
That's why.
Yep.
Because all they do is just slap fucking parts on those things and sell them for a high
I mean,
price.
700
So
bucks
that's
is
what
700
I'm gonna
bucks.
start using, you know. Especially if you're like, you know, with a recover.
I will say, me and Caitlin got very lucky because I put the down payment the day she turned 18.
On her ring?
No.
Oh.
The day she turned 18, I made her go open a credit card.
Oh.
The day she turned 18, she opened a credit union account, or a credit card.
Started building credit.
Yep. 3 months later, because I knew it takes 3 months for anything to hit your credit report, regardless if you have credit history. We went to Right Way, which is a shitty fucking used car dealership.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a shit.
no, it is. But, so what it is they approve anybody at very high interest. So what I told her is I was like, okay, we're gonna finance this car. It was $19,000. And we financed it, and now she owes like $9 on it. So she paid $10,000. We can go refinance that car right now for 0 interest.
That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
That's,
right
so that's
now.
why I was like, you know, we'll just take the fucking interest right now.
But instead
Build
of
your
going
credit
to
history, never miss a fucking payment. Now her credit score's an 830.
Instead of what I did was fucking stupid, I did the exact same thing you did. Instead of getting a shitty car from a shitty dealership and building credit,
I got a good
I got
car
a
from a
really
shitty
nice car
dealership.
for way too much fucking money just to build credit. Stupid.
That's stupid. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, you just get some. When we bought her car, it had 40,000 miles on it, and it was a rental car through Enterprise.
Right, I
Out of
definitely
California,
was hiding
so-
your vape and then I put
Fuck
it in
yeah.
your pocket.
I was
Didn't
wondering
touch
what
the
you
car.
I was wondering what the
So I
fuck
just got the
happened.
plug.
I definitely didn't touch
He's a
the car.
salesman
Yeah,
at a
look
Kia
at that.
dealership.
Nice.
I just got plugged, dude. The plug. Huh? I just got plugged because I forgot my buddy worked at a Kia dealership. I just called him and I was like, "Hey, you still work there, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I work tomorrow." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I have a rehearsal dinner tomorrow for a wedding. After that, I'm coming in and test drive a car."
When do you plan on having your wedding, Steve?
Yeah, for real.
Wait a little bit, be engaged for a little
2023.
while. Okay, yeah.
So 23.
So no need to rush it.
Just over a year.
Save some money, have a nice wedding. Make sure you have money to go on a nice
What
honeymoon.
color are we doing for the suits, baby?
So, I don't know what I want to do. We haven't really planned anything.
I know.
I don't even know if
You guys
I'm
start
gonna
thinking
do
about
suits.
colors and shit.
I was thinking about just doing my birthday suit.
You mean
He said, "Ass naked wedding."
I was gonna
She
say,
gonna be
if you
making
can't,
all-
if you
she
can't
gonna
deal
be
with me
making
when
all
I'm butt
decisions.
naked, then I guess we can't be
I
married.
guess we can't do it, bro. That's it.
No, I don't know.
I'll be ass
I,
naked.
I do
on
want
Wednesday.
something different. So.
I agree. Dude, I saw
Serve
this
Zima.
thing on TikTok.
Serve Zima.
What's that?
You ever heard of Zima?
No.
Oh, it's like a sparkling beer from back in the day. Something different.
Something.
It's like
Oh, that was their
Mike's Hard
slogan?
Lemonade.
Something different?
Something with the Zima.
Dude.
It's like Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh.
It's,
I,
it's similar, like
seltzer.
a wine cooler, or you know, something.
I saw some on TikTok and it was like, when you tell your friends you're having a 70s themed wedding, but you don't specify which century, and it was like 1870s. So they all came in like fucking sailor outfits and shit. It was funny as hell. I was like, no
That's
way.
actually
The first time I ever had alcohol.
Oh god.
One of the
It
worst
started.
experiences
It
of my life.
started with 6 Zimas. It was. This is how it went. It was 6 Zimas, 6 Mike's Hard Lemonade, a 12-pack of Budweiser, and then a 5th of Jack.
Oh,
And
well, that's
somewhere,
your problem
yeah,
right
and
there.
then somewhere in between all of that were
Beer
a couple
before
of
liquor?
muscle relaxers and definitely a bunch of
Beer before
There you
liquor.
go. There you go. That's fucking
It was a
Beer
great,
before
it was a
liquor,
great
you're
night.
in the
Horrible
Liquor
next
Liquor
couple
before
days.
beer and you're in the clear.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that from high school. Just hearing that for the first time and then seeing people die.
No, 100%. I can
true,
attest
bro.
to it. It's true.
The
Oh,
next
yeah, it's
morning I
true.
woke up, we're
Especially
driving, my
mixing
cousin,
too.
we were at a party.
Get through
We're
a
driving
case
down
of
the
bud
road,
and then
and
you're
we
like,
got maybe
Let me try
300
some
feet down the road.
Dave, did you see Budweiser's dropping NFTs?
Green.
Are they?
Yeah, they're dropping a bunch of like their
Another
shop
thing
cans.
too
Like,
is
I
mixing
think they
dark
had,
and
like-
light. Dark
it was
and
like
light.
1800 and
Yeah,
some
that doesn't apply to me.
NFTs.
I
It was
like-
like
I like drinking
whenever they got
tequila, and then I'll have
established.
some
It was that year. That's how many
Not
NFTs.
me,
It's
not me, not
fucking
me.
sick. They
I'll
got like a
drink
bunch of liquor
liquor,
cans,
liquor,
different
liquor, and
mixes
then
and
as soon as
stuff.
I'm fucking getting
How about
customers,
the
I buy
Budweiser?
beers. Yep.
That's the
I was about to buy a
best
couple for my dad.
I went
So
to,
the biggest Budweiser.
Enjoy some
fucking
hours
guy.
with your friends and cool off with a couple beers, and you are having the best night ever.
I went to a Polish Chaldean wedding.
Oh,
That's a good
Oh
time.
boy, you had a fucking
And
riot.
I go up to the bar, and I was 21, and you know, I'm like, hey, what you got? You know, and they're like, oh, this, Hennessy, and I'm like, I've never had Hennessy. Let's try some Hennessy.
Oh,
So
God.
like
It's
the
gotta
whole
be one of
night
my
I'm
favorite
drinking
liquors.
Hennessy for like five hours, and that, you know, I don't know if you've ever been to a Chaldean wedding, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very, very energetic.
They're
And
lying.
they have this stick that they pass around, and when you get, you pull the stick and you have it up in the air, and then everybody's dancing around you. So
That's
I'm
lit.
fucking hot drunk, man, just like, woo, and we left there, and I went back to, his house or whatever. They were gone, but it was his best man, and we
Right.
stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning drinking potato vodka.
Nice. That's some
And then drove home.
Oh,
Like
you're
6.
fuck.
Yeah. That was
Don't
the
do that.
second time I ever drank and drove.
Dude, my
Last
sister's
time.
my sister's wedding, I was.
Good. Same with you, Steve.
That
When
was,
we're doing that.
that was 12 years ago.
Drinking and driving.
Drinking it? Oh, fuck no.
Good.
Never again. I went to fucking jail for that.
Good.
65
Not good that you were in
days.
jail, but kind
I
of good
should
that you
have.
went.
I
Kind of
was
good that
on
you went.
probation
because-
for 2 years, lost my license for 1 year, and then served 65 days in jail.
Don't get it twisted though. This nigga drove a car
65?
every single day that he had
For the
his
whole
license.
year.
What the fuck?
For the whole
You had to
year.
even do something a little wild, like 110 on the freeway, drunk or something.
Nah.
That's a lot of time to
Driving
spend in
under,
jail for
driving
a
under
little
power
DUI.
lines on a 4-wheeler.
Yeah,
drunk
because
as
it's
dog
dumb.
shit.
I had 4th-degree flee and elude felony for
Okay, yeah.
running and obstructing police.
There we go.
I had a DUI and
He's on a
MID.
4-wheeler, man, and he's under the power lines. You gotta go.
Four-wheeler?
I was on a 4-wheeler. Get this.
The
Five-
story has gotten so much better.
Under the
No,
power
No,
lines.
5 miles from the nearest public road. That's how far I was from
Oh, so you were out.
civilization.
Because he was just following the power lines trying to get to a road,
Yeah.
which is illegal. You can't drive underneath power lines.
No, I wasn't on the car. What the fuck?
Yes, you were.
No,
In Oscoda?
What did you
Yeah,
get?
let's go to power.
What did you get? A game
No,
for or
no,
something?
power
on
lines.
these?
I don't know about the power line
Do you
shit,
know?
but just the fact, dude, that's an amazing
I
story.
was, so the only reason that he tried to pull me over is because I was wearing a helmet. But
And you're on a four-wheeler, you're trying to get away.
Let me
a
get
little bit,
this.
of
Let me
course.
get this. Let me get this though. So I have insurance policy that states that I can ride a motorcycle on public roads without a helmet.
It's law now, I thought. But
Mhm.
yeah.
But you have to have.
You have to have proper
you have,
insurance.
you have to have
Oh.
bodily injury covered up
Okay.
to 25.
That makes sense, I guess.
It's a
That
PIP
makes
coverage.
So I had,
Personal
this,
injury.
I had a
PIP.
special insurance.
No,
I had,
PLP.
either way, I had everything to say that I could ride a motorcycle on the road without a helmet. So I was like, all right,
Right,
I'm up
12.
north. I don't have to.
You got a 12?
Yeah, it's 12 to 1. I'm headed out now.
I was like, I don't need to wear a helmet for a 4-wheeler, so I didn't. And that's the only reason you tried to pull me over.
Get a
Can you print out something from
breakfast? Bacon breakfast?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
Right.
We gotta hit Chase because they're the only people that.
Hey, whose number is 4449
Nope, not me.
in the office? Does anyone know?
It might be Crystal.
I don't know, fuck.
Hold on, let me see. 4449.
Let me go. I think it might be.
You have a great sausage muffin.
Yeah, it's 12, bro.
I was about to say from where?
Burger, that's burger on.
I'm going there right now.
Can you
fucked
print
up,
from
man.
on task?
Print
You should be able to, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you have to download the file first.
Have a good one, boys.
These ones like, hey, can you print this off? I want a paper copy. I'm like,
Can you print this off? Yeah, she did print. Yeah.
you work from home, you don't have a fucking printer?
Yeah, how the fuck does that work?
Can you print it on and read it? Sure, why not?
No, she just don't want to use her ink, bro, bitch. But I wouldn't either, to be fair. Ink is expensive.
I also have another excuse for this one, Dave. COVID.
Excuse for what?
I put it as sold instead of sold pending. He's like, what the fuck, man? Fake news. I'm like,
Fake news.
I'm like, I swear she signed everything and mailed off the thing. I don't know what happened. That's what I get from believing in customers.
Liars are liars,
But
man.
that was the one I sold when I was home with COVID. So I'm like, that's my excuse. That's a good one.
Yeah, home with COVID.
That's a decent excuse.
I mean, I'd take it.
No, that was. Oh, God damn it. Here you go.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna go print off the one in the back.
All right, have a good one.
Good, man.
You want to look at that one real quick? Take it. Just out of curiosity. Because it was pretty trash. That's a blurry ass picture. So he wanted siding all the way around on everything. looks like stucco. The side is all bare wood, no vapor barrier anymore. You know, there's a little bit of disintegrated vapor barrier on the other side, and then obviously that freeze board is all uncovered. Bearing Seagull. I didn't even realize he was watching that.
What's underneath this?
Oh boy, I remember this one.
It's a shit show.
What's underneath this siding?
It
Fucking bare wood.
bare wood.
Okay, so that's wood.
Yeah. And that's everywhere that you don't see siding, it's either a vapor barrier or bare wood.
Or stucco.
Or stucco.
Like legit stucco, not that fucking.
Like the actual old ass stucco.
Before I get out of here, is this something I'm gonna be waiting on today?
What's that?
For the.
Oh, I have no idea on that. Like I said, none of that stuff came through on my desk yet. So I got
You know what? Just put it on next week's day.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I'm getting it all going, so it'll be there for
Can I
sure.
get that list? Do you need that list anymore? That just has my drawback information on it.
They're just writing these down, sorry. She's doing this one, so that'll be for next week.
Is there anywhere in Salesforce that I can check what jobs I've been paid on?
Yes, absolutely. When you go
Just
to
payroll
dashboard,
report?
no. When you go to dashboard in the center column, the very top one says year-to-date good business.
Oh,
That one will tell you your front end, your back end, your final.
okay, cool.
And if whatever front end says 0 and it says like ready to order, that's something that you would be expecting like either this week or next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if it says processing,
It's shoddy, yeah.
If it's a processing,
I've
send me
asked-
an email on
Yeah, I've
those.
asked you a couple times on
And
my
then I can get on
processes.
them, like, there was one or whatever.
now if it says like ready for siding tear off or you haven't fucking gotten paid on it yet, that's one that you should definitely got paid on.
Yeah.
That's where, if you guys let me know, like on Monday, then I can go in and I can get on them, so they got a couple days to get me the shit. So therefore, it's not like where Steve is going, well, what the fuck happened with this?
Well, I fucked up. I did Monday for the meeting. I told you I was going to send you a list and never did, so that's
Well-
my fault.
It's within our scope of work.
Yeah, we can do it, it's not like anything structural, but what we gotta do is, this stuff here, you gotta figure out for all of the cement,
Yeah.
you gotta figure out for furring strips. Okay, so we can't put siding on, nail it into the cement, we have to
Yeah.
put it like everything else, so
Yeah.
you gotta just make sure you're charging for that, but this is all, okay, that's all shit we can do.
Okay.
Do you want
Sure
to
you're charging.
pull up the numbers that I came up with and
Yeah.
make sure that they're
Show them to you.
decent? I just go into the 3D model real quick and see if I fucking did this right for him.
This is what we've got. And that's before doing all the,
He's going through.
obviously adding the siding on the cement.
Grab some.
Hopefully I can mobile deposit this one. Dude, last month I couldn't mobile deposit shit, said I was over my limit.
I don't ever mold. I don't know why.
So, I don't know if you're aware of this, Steve, but like here, you click,
Yes, that's what I did.
you put it all siding,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then you went to the siding number and pulled up.
So go to all,
Like, yeah.
or
You go to
or
measure.
go to measure, yeah. What I did here is you go to surface areas. What I did is I did beige, gray wrap, and gray stucco. I added all those numbers together, and then I added 15%.
What I'm getting at is like, watch this. I go.
Yeah, you could just click on the wall.
Once you
Yeah.
change this,
Yeah. Oh, you could change it. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah.
it'll change the number in.
I forgot about
You
that.
can change it all to,
Yeah, and then at least
Siding,
it'll
all
measure all
siding.
one measurement.
exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I didn't think about doing it that
I
way.
didn't either, honestly, that's a good idea.
No.
Because then it'll all come out of siding, as
Yeah.
horizontal siding.
No, that's a good point. Because didn't you want the brick covered? too?
Everything. You wanted everything on the entire house with siding.
Nice.
The whole fucking house.
Tell them 40 grand, we can do it.
So let's go, I just want to see.
Probably
if
more
I
than
can
that.
change it.
Dave said we could, so I'm going out there and quoting him. So. It's gonna be a massive fucking job. And the house is gonna look entirely different
This is
when it's
just
done.
like-
How many squares do you have total? Who is it?
How many square did it come out to, Steve?
It was 40 square.
Yeah, 40 square of
I was
siding,
gonna say 36.
2 square fascia, 4 square soffit. Yeah, platinum just siding came out to 55,000 without putting the siding on the brick and the, like all that extra money for putting it on brick and cinder block.
Yeah.
Dave, I came back to the office with, after that job where they gave me the grant for the city of Auburn Hills. Levi was here, I showed it to him, he was like, don't fucking show me that shit. Do not respond to them, please. I said, we don't do that shit, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you.
I know.
We don't do that shit.
We don't do that.
It's not very good program.
Hmm?
Thought you guys were watching something interesting.
It is
That's
pretty
boring.
Depends on what you define as interesting.
Yeah.
All of this brick too?
Yeah.
Just fucking do the whole thing,
The whole,
man.
that's what he said to me. I was like, you're sure? All the brick, all the cinder block? He was like, the whole fucking house. Word for word is what
But
he
did
said.
you charge more for the furnace, is what I'm saying?
No,
No, I
He
didn't
hadn't
even
done that yet.
incorporate that.
Which just means when we're covering brick and siding.
So when we cover brick, we have to have, he called it, what is it, a fur-inch strip?
strip, yeah.
So it's basically, correct me if I'm wrong, like a 1x1 strip or
It's
something?
like a metal piece, one by one.
Is it metal or is it
It's
wood?
an insulation that they put on there, and then they simulate the studs with what the wood pieces are.
Oh,
That's
So you
okay.
have something to nail.
Okay. Because that was gonna be my question. How the hell are we gonna do it on brick if you can't nail into anything?
You can.
I mean, you can
It
get
It
brick
just
and
takes.
you can get mortar screws,
Yeah.
mortar nails, and do it that way. But
I actually, when I did installing for, yes, I did, install on brick, and let me tell you, I will never install on brick ever again.
you go through Huntington too.
I do.
Me too.
I'm gonna get Chase, man.
I like Huntington because it has this
I love
analysis
that. I
thing.
love that.
It's fucking
That is the nice thing about Huntington, but Chase gives you something like that too. So
Fuck
it's
Chase, dude. They tried to charge me
Fuck
$400
Chase.
for a
Fuck Chase.
fraudulent charge on my account. They told me that I had to pay.
Dude, I'll tell you
I
what.
had two different occasions where I proved to them that it was not me.
That's the nice thing about Comerica is I've disputed charges that at the time I didn't realize I actually charged,
They
but I
gave
did
you your money
charge,
back.
and they gave me my money back, zero fucking questions asked.
Well, if they have that
Yeah.
little of security, I'd be kind of concerned with my bank.
No shit. That's why I want to get the fuck out of there.
Banks are scary.
No, there have been times where I've gone into my account, I had $400 in my account, and then literally 20 minutes later, I buy like a $20 item from the mall. I look at my account, I'm missing $200. So where the fuck did $200
I
come?
mean, we're all fucked if the banks go down. Banks are scary, man.
That's why I don't fuck with banks.
Banks can fuck us.
That's why I'll keep my shit in cryptos for as long as possible.
That is it too.
Can't touch my shit if it's in crypto.
Yeah, unless you lose it all.
Unless you lose your Google Authenticator.
Hell,
Remember
no,
that one
that'll
guy
never
that
happen.
had the one guy that lost his Bitcoin password? You guys remember that story? He lost out on like $2.9 million or something.
More than that now.
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking money.
He still can't find a password.
And there's nothing you can do about
he's
it.
He's willing to give 30% of what that Bitcoin is currently worth if someone guesses the password. There's a whole website for it to guess the password.
Someone
If you
guesses
get the
that password, that's my account now, baby. What do you mean?
Well, no, that's the thing is the site guesses the password. It blocks you from having access to the wallet, but it allows you to have access to guess the password. So if you guess the password properly, it allows you to enter your wallet address so that he can send you the 30% of what it's worth. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And everything's all keylogged and shit. So.
I can't wait for.
This is the only thing I hate about Huntington. I don't know, do you have this problem? So like, no matter how much money, like I got fucking $6 grand in my account right now. No matter how much money I have in my account, I can never cash my check in full.
I don't cash checks, so I don't know. I only
Well,
deposit.
no,
Even
okay,
deposit, no. So
even
because
deposit,
most banks, the way
it
it
doesn't
works.
include it in your account balance until like 24 hours later. And I'm like, how the fuck does that make sense? I've been
Doesn't
giving
happen.
you the same check
Because
for
my
4
bank,
months
my
now.
bank, if I have
doesn't happen.
$700 in my account, if I have a $500 pay stub that I'm depositing, that $500 will go immediately into my account because I already have $700.
Yeah, Steve, that never happens to me. If I have a $1,400 check and I deposit it on Tuesday, $1,400's in it on Wednesday.
That's the
Yeah,
thing though. It's
no.
like, let's say you go to the bank right now and you in person cash this check and deposit it into your account. Usually it's available right now, right?
Right.
But if you do a mobile deposit or if you do it through the ATM, it takes 24 hours. It scanned the check. It has every information that it needs.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
They're-
verification do they have to go through?
I don't
That's
know.
getting it from the
I
same
don't know. It might just be standard. I don't know.
I don't know. Because there's been times where I deposit
Well,
my
we gotta
check.
get the
Yeah, I know.
We gotta go to Chase and
I'll be checking scramblers.
Wait, you're going?
you going to Scramblers too?
I'm going. I don't know.
Are you going? Are we
You guys
going?
might not.
Yeah, let me see.
Because I'm trying to go.
I'm down.
Yeah, just get us a table for 3.
I'll see you in the one at 13 and.
Yeah, the same one we went to.
Yep. Just gotta stop at the bank and cash this shit. What's stupid though is that it's only with checks. Like if I go to my bank with $200 in cash, I'll go cash this right now, and then I'll go to my bank after work today, and they'll take $200 in cash and deposit it into my account.
Well, yeah, it's
It's like,
cash.
but like fuck
Face
you. So
value.
is this. So is a check. A check is fucking cash coming out of Rock Solid's account. That's what it is. It's fucking bullshit, man.
I think you should just ask for their routing.
I think I should just show them my asshole.
All right, Dave, you have a great day.
You too, buddy.